It's interesting because you're grabbed by the theater. You're this kid, as I said, who you start reading Chekhov. Yeah. You start reading the classics, and it grabs you, and you start seeing some productions. You get into theater. You have so many go nowhere jobs just to stay alive. I mean, you're delivering papers. You're building superintendent for a while, but not a good one. I don't think.
Never. The guy came out and started talking about me a few years back.
Yeah,
saying he was a terrible super or something like that. And I thought, why? Why would he say that?
Yeah, and
who's a terrible super? I'm sure there's a lot around. I mean,
No, I saw that. There's a really old man who was like, I remember him. He was a terrible super. And I'm like, okay, take his Oscar back.
I know. Fine actor, terrible super.
Christopher Walken, bad mechanic. Robert De Niro, it's just awful substitute teacher. It's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? So you come along, you're doing theater, and then this thing that people dream about happens, which is you get noticed. Francis Ford Coppola is going to make The Godfather, and he says, I want this guy, Al Pacino. And the studio says, fuck you.
Of course.
We want Robert Redford. We want someone who's been a success. We want someone who looks a certain way. We want someone probably blonde hair, blue eyed, whatever.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at you when I say it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They wanted me, actually.
My grandmother.
I was 8 at the time. Yeah.
My grandmother on my mother's side has blonde hair, blue eyes. So just to note that.
Yep, it's in there. It's in you somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
But what I'm saying
had to put
is
it in.
They don't want you, I've seen the screen test where they're saying, okay, well, how about Jimmy Caan as Michael Cole? How about they're trying everybody? They're throwing everybody in there. Yeah. But Francis Ford Coppola sticks with you. They start shooting, and you can tell, you read in the book, and it's riveting on the set. People are like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this guy. I don't know what. And you can feel it.
Yeah, well, they were giggling.
You heard giggling.
Yes.
So here's what's amazing to me. These scenes that I've watched and that everyone's watched in this room 100,000 times that are now iconic masterclasses in how you play a character, you're doing it and people are going, oh man, let's hope they get a real actor in here soon. Yeah. Which is unbelievable to me.
Was it that severe, Conan?
I was an 8-year-old kid, but I was there. And I had a lot of pull with the studio. I called Paramount, and I was like, I don't think he's got it. Who is this? 8-year-old Conan O'Brien. What are you? I'll be a big deal someday. You'll see. Why aren't you using a real phone? Why are you miming one with your hands?
Oh my God. It's funny.
But no, and the thing is, which is, to me, I look at that performance, and as you say in the book, your concept, which was clearly the right one, which is you got to slowly see Michael come to this position. And then there's the iconic scene where they're all trying to figure out, after Vito's been shot, what to do. And you are sitting there with your broken jaw and you say, okay, we arrange a meeting, and the camera's pushing in. I can't watch that and I can't talk about it without tingling, because I think it is a beautiful way to tell a story through acting. But it takes patience. And the studio was saying,
well, they wanted to see something else, I guess. And both Francis and I think, felt that way about, but we were unable, or at least I was unable to articulate what I was doing, but I was doing that. I thought about it on my long walks in Manhattan.
You talk about it. You would take long walks. You get the film, but it hasn't started shooting yet. You took long walks.
Yeah, I would go all the way from 91st to the Village and back. 91st and Broadway, and I just think about the part. Think about it. I still do that with roles. I just think about them. And and it's fun.
Yeah.
It gets me through the walk.
Yeah. You get your step.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that in coming up with who Michael Corleone was, you got your steps in.
Yeah, there it is. I managed not to get hit by a car. And I think that was in those days.
They should make a Fitbit that tells you have achieved the character. 10,000 steps, and you've
stop
nailed.
walking.
Stop now. You've nailed Michael Corleone. You've got it.
I love it.
But you know what's fascinating to me that I didn't know is that Coppola wants to show the studio, so it wasn't supposed to shoot yet, but he moves up the famous scene in the Italian restaurant.
I think he said he didn't do that. So I corrected in the book a little bit, but
it's a good story. Let's
but
go
it
with
is. I think it's true.
Yeah.
I think he was sensing it, but the conversation in the Ginger Man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Ginger Man in Manhattan, 64th? And
Yeah.
And that's where he called me in, and he was sitting there with his family and eating. And it's a bar and grill that I frequented, and a lot of people did. It's beautiful. Did you ever go there?
I didn't go there, but you talk about it, and it's kind of very well known. It's kind of iconic place. It was a hangout, a watering hole, a place.
I mean, Bernstein would go in there, and great music, because Lincoln Center was across the street from it. So you'd see people who, you collaborated with on things. So I walked in there again. That was a big thing for me to walk into Ginger Man because, I didn't go there because I didn't have money to buy the drinks. Yeah. So I went in there, and Francis was eating with his family, and I was standing there, and he says, "We had a talk." So I thought, well, where are we going to go? And we're not going to go anywhere. He didn't say that, but he thought
he didn't. Thing is, you're standing, he's sitting, and he doesn't invite you to sit.
Oh, no,
my God.
That's the first sign.
This is important. You're standing there, and you've been shooting for, a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And he tells you.
Well, he tells me, I had faith in you. I believed in you. I said, yeah, I know. He says, well, you're not cutting it. I thought, oh, what do I do now? What do I say now? I said, well, I guess that would be a problem, I guess. So tell me, what do you mean? He says, well, I want to show you the rushes, meaning the footage that we had shot already, and that I was going to see something. I said, well, can I have some of that hamburger? This retrospect, I love to think of what I might have done or wanted to do. And so I went to the Paramount theater that they had this screening, and I sat there. I wasn't used to looking at myself on screen. I just didn't want to do that. I had done Panic in Needle Park already, so I don't know if you've seen that film.
Right. And you'd had a little bit of experience, but not much.
Not much at all. That was my first film. Or a Patty Duke film. I had a couple of lines in. But I went and saw the rushes, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm seeing the takes of different things. I'm thinking, well, that is not spectacular, but why should it be? Because I'm trying to see, I was hoping that I could blend in with the scenery and not be seen specifically or spotted and wow,
Right.
I just wanted to just blend and just be natural. And I thought, well, I know that's the way it looks now, but that's part of what is going to turn into Michael Corleone. And that's going to be the impact, because where did this guy come from? Yeah. And he's an enigmatic kind of character anyway, throughout The Godfathers, 1 and 2 especially. So I thought that was the way I was going to go. So, of course, I said to Francis, naturally, the actor's instinct, I just said, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
That always quiets everybody down. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. I'll work on that.
We'll work on that. And then I thought, then I thought I was out, and I sort of wanted to be out in a way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. I thought, what am I doing in this place? I mean, and those guys in the restaurant with me, the great Sterling Hayden. And little Al Lettieri. I mean, they were amazing.
Salazzo,
Salazzo.
I mean, the thing is, you shoot that scene, which is, to this day, I can't watch that scene and not have my eyeballs fall out.
You're sitting across from him like Salazzo.
Yeah. And don't let this man go to the bathroom.
I know. We have an old chain flusher, too. This is bad.
It's the old kind. You pull the chain. So
I don't like repeats.
Then you're safe.
You're all right. So you shoot that scene. They send that scene to Paramount, to the suits back in L.A., and they go, oh, okay.
Well, you have to understand one thing, because I after I shoot these two guys, who I really loved, by the way, and I shoot them, and I'm running out, and I sort of drop the gun, and I go into the street and jump in a moving car.
Right.
So they didn't have a stuntman for me there, or they didn't. They didn't want me to. Maybe they assumed that I would jump and get hurt, and I'd be out of the film. Just coming to me now, Conan.
That's an old Coppola trick. He put me in a film, it wasn't working out, and they threw me out of a car.
That's got to go into the box of resentments. But anyway, I did miss the car.
What?
Yeah, and I fell. It's in the book. We forget those things.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
So I fell, and I was hurt. Kind of my ankle was hurt somehow. It slipped. The car had one of those side things that you could jump on and then jump in. So I was just looking up at the sky, and I said, "Thank you, God." This was my thought. I actually said, "Thank you, God. You're going to get me out of this film."
Unbelievable.
That's how much I wanted to leave it.
Wow.
I said, "This is from heaven."
Yeah.
And people just all got around me, and they said, "He's hurt." Yeah. So I said, "Oh, yeah." And then they put one of these big fat needles in my ankle so I could finish the day. Mm-hmm. And they kept me. They kept me because they saw the rushes of that
scene, and they knew. And what's so amazing is, movie comes out, and this surprised me. Movie comes out. It's a phenomenon. I remember it was 1972. I would have been 9 years old at the time. All anybody did was talk about that movie. People quoted it. It was, it's hard to describe today what a huge cultural moment it was. And you, in the book, talk about how uncomfortable you were.
Yeah.
It's the thing, we live in this society now where everybody wants to be famous, and people would think, oh my God, if I could be a young Al Pacino who's just done The Godfather, oh my God, would I tear up the talent? You hide. You don't love it. You don't, and you're drinking a lot. And
I think it was that period, that time of life when this wasn't in our social understanding. We didn't care about fame. And as a matter of fact, it was somewhat in the Hollywood, somewhat was frowned upon in the theater, by the way. And they gave us this great entertainment, these great actors on the screen. But it was a kind of folklore for us. And if you go to Hollywood, you lose your talent and something like that.
Yeah.
That spread around. But also, I was extremely, I was a bit embarrassed because I heard something like Kerouac, Jack Kerouac, on the road. So he goes and he drinks his life away because he felt this embarrassment. I don't know where that comes from, self-esteem, whatever. But I felt I didn't want to be noticed. Part of my thing was I just wanted to creep around, and just do my thing. And so one time I'm at a light, actually, and I'm at a traffic light, and I'm standing there to cross the street, and this kind of gorgeous, redhead. I'm sorry, it wasn't you, Conan, but it was another redhead.
I'm a man, excuse me. I'm about as much man as it gets.
You're still a gorgeous redhead.
I'm a gorgeous redhead.
Yeah, she didn't look like you. Be straight with you.
That ruins the story. It ruins the story if it looks like me. Yeah.
So she says hello to me. She says hi. I thought, oh wow. I said, wow, hi. She says, hi, Michael. And it was as though I said, this is crazy. She's calling me Michael because she knows me.
Yeah.
She knows me from the film. And I just retreated. I couldn't understand that. Nobody did that to me. My entire life, nobody responded. Oh, wow. They never said that. They didn't know. They said, get away, So I was kind of shocked, and I retreated. And then I start seeing it happen throughout, in these various pockets. There's people, woman kissing my hand, people treating me, and my friend Charlie's there, and the woman comes up to me and says, "That Al Pacino?" He says, "Yeah, yeah." She says, "Is that Al Pacino?" He says, "Well, somebody's got to be,
Yeah, famous. It freaked you out. It freaked you out.
You Al Pacino? I said, "Yeah." He says, "Congratulations. You look like you oughta."
You do look very Al Pacino-y. I thought so today. I was like, that guy's reeks of Al Pacino. You know what shocked me is, again, and I think I speak for a lot of us when I think, type up, put your name in, and you're just going to see one of the great, if not the most influential actors, blah, 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 blah. You, in the 80s, hit a cold spot, and you talk about it in the book.
Yeah.
And you think, well, my movie career is over. And you are kind of out of it for a little bit. You're trying to do some theater and stuff, but that's shocking to me now, because that wasn't something, you felt it, you lived it.
Well, I thought, I don't know what's going on. I thought, I don't want to be doing this anymore. There's something going on. Things are not working. Scarface was such a disaster. And when I thought it was, it was a good film. I mean, it was going to work, but it didn't. And it actually made money. It was the critics sort of took a dislike to it. But at the same time, I just didn't know. I didn't want to do it anymore. Yeah. I thought, well, let's refresh and let's go back and do some of the things that I started with.
That fed you, things like theater,
of course,
getting there, being connected to people, get away from this stuff. Yeah,
talking through things, pieces of work, whether it's Oedipus or whatever, because, when you do those kind of plays, they're always in translation, of course. So translation means everything. Who's the translator? And so spending time with that stuff, whether you're doing Chekhov or Strindberg, or some of the great plays, American plays, So I liked getting involved, and that's what happens at the Actors Studio. You're able, that's what we do there. And so I did a movie called Looking for Richard.
I was going to bring this. This is what I was going to bring up. And I was going to bring this up for a reason. You did this project called Looking for Richard. And it's about Richard III. And it's so many things. It's a fascinating movie because you see different performances for Richard III, interpretations of it throughout the film. But you do something that I have some familiarity with, which is a big part of my career has been leaving the studio, getting a camera, finding real people and trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
And I love that part. It terrifies me, but I love it. And it's been, I don't know, maybe 70% of the work that I've done that people really like is that kind of work where I'm out there doing this stuff and things are happening in real time. A big part of Looking for Richard, there's a thread that runs through it where it's you on the street talking to people about what does Shakespeare mean to you, and you are so quick and funny and vulnerable. And I was watching that part going like, damn it, he's good at that. I mean, that's the one thing that I can relate to of all of your work is going out there with a camera. And I was blown away. You're talking to people, you're getting them to talk about Shakespeare, you're on the streets of New York, you talk to some young kid and you say, what do you think of Hamlet? He goes, Hamlet sucks. You go, Hamlet sucks! But it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's you out there, and what I love is you keep stripping it all away
Yeah.
and saying, let's lose all this. Yeah. Oscar iconic films. Well, let's lose all that. I'm going to put on a baseball cap backwards and I'm going to walk through the streets and talk to people about Shakespeare and we're going to get our hands dirty.
I was sort of driven to that by having what you had just said, that you want to have a piece of yourself in this. You want to, you're tired of just doing stuff that's not giving you what you need as in your creative, that creative gene we have, and it's just not being supplied with stuff because it happens to everybody. So other actors too, you. That's why some actors, I talk about that in the book, will repeat roles because they scored in them and they did well in them and they continue to do well in them, but they're capable of doing much more.
And it's hard to grow if you don't keep challenging yourself.
Right. You got to challenge yourself. That's why I like chaos.
Yeah. Well, you're in the right place.
I certainly am. And that's why I looked at you when I said that, too.
The other day, I wanted my son, who's 18, I wanted him to see real acting, real writing. So I said, come with me. My wife was out of town. It sounds like I'm going to show him pornography, but that was...
I know.
No. But no.
Hey, like
she's out of town! This is a movie. This is called Debbie Does Dallas. I showed him the movie Glenn Ross.
Oh, yeah.
And he's riveted. I'm riveted. It's such an incredible cast. The whole thing. And the next morning I go and he's blown away. And I'm like, okay, you get it? That's, and he loved it. And the next morning I go to get breakfast and I run smack into David Mamet. And
wow.
Yeah. And I said, hey, last night. And he was like, please leave me alone. No, he's always been very wonderful when I run into him. But I could just tell all of you were so great in that film, but your character so intimidates me. He's charming, but he's intimidating at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
And you've got this, I don't know. That's one of my favorite performances too. Absolutely incredible performance.
I thought Jack Lemmon, as time goes on, he really steps out in that part. Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I tried doing that part in New York on Broadway, doing Jack's part. Yeah. Because they did a production.
You were Richie Roma.
I was Richie Roma.
Yeah, but in the film, but then you switched and you did his part on Broadway.
On Broadway. And I did his part, and I thought I could do his part somewhat. It's a good part. Let me try that. It's so totally different than Richie Roma. So I started it, but I didn't realize this is Mamet, and you have to have time to, acquire the taste and be able to live through this part. And we had 3 weeks rehearsal, and I didn't have any lines that I was able to say, So, but at the same time, I realized how great Jack Lemmon was in this role. And I thought, wow, I should have watched it before I did it, but I didn't know where I was on Broadway. And that's a tough thing to go through. But I did remember that I said, look, I don't know what to do here because there's times I don't know what the lines are. This is Mamet now. It's like rewriting Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But I started saying things that came to me. That's my new thing, which, we go through various phases where we go a little nuts and then we start doing nutty things. And sometimes things come out of that,
I'm familiar.
You get a little cherry,
So, but you start ad-libbing Mamet. Yeah.
So now, I thought, I don't know why I can't get this monologue at all. I can't get it. And I don't know it's written in a certain way. So I said, I would start saying my own words here. Say the monologue. The actors with me was so great. I mean, they were right with it. And I'd even say things on the stage. Then I started dancing on the stage.
it's in
my
here. You
God.
started doing soft shoe.
Soft shoe in the
Soft
middle of
shoe.
the play. And then because I'm a real believer in, we have things with acting that all of a sudden the unconscious comes out. You free yourself, so your unconscious starts to, express itself.
Yeah.
And I was walking down the street after I realized that I did what I did. I said, why did I do that? I was thinking, and then I said, wait a minute. My dad who I didn't know much, and you know that.
He left early.
But he was a salesman. And he was a great ballroom dancer.
So you think you maybe channeled him a little bit?
I challenged him. Of course I did.
Don't yell at me.
How come you don't know that? You see what I mean? You got to get out there, Conan.
Oh, my God.
Express yourself. But it was interesting. There's another thing. I'm doing a play, a Shakespeare play at the Public Theater, and I'm tired. And, all of a sudden you're doing 8 performances a week. Who invented that? That's the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It ruins all actors. And I'm doing 8 performances, and I'm not doing really well. So I'm doing it, but I'm getting through it. And with me, everything is time. I believe that's why I love the theater so much, because it's time. I mean, I did American Buffalo over 4 years. I did movies in between. But by the 4th year, I didn't have to do anything when I went on stage. It had
in your
entered,
bones. It was in your bones,
entered
yeah.
the bones. But I'm doing Shakespeare, and I'm doing this. I have this huge monologue talking to a lot of people, and I'm tired. But it's maybe a matinee on Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. And I'm talking, and I start thinking, wait a minute, I'm repeating myself. Every line I'm saying, I've said right before. So I'm saying it twice. And I said, oh, my God. And I'm saying the lines. To me, I'm saying them twice. And I'm thinking the audience is being friendly. They're sort of scared because I think this actor is losing it. I think we're going to have to carry him somewhere and take him to a hospital afterward. He's crazy. Yeah. And I got really scared. And then it took me a while to recover. I don't know if I ever did, but at the end of the show, I wasn't doing that, but it felt like it.
Wow.
This is what exhaustion on the stage means. It really is, especially with the big roles, so I just refused to do that. And then I just said, don't pay me, and I'll do 6 a week.
Right.
Now I do like 3.
Right.
Don't tell anyone.
It's funny because then you have what I think is any actor would give their left arm for, this string of, it's Serpico, it's Dog Day Afternoon. As I watch those performances, and they're so electric, and you had this energy. There's this energy that comes off of you, which still does, by the way, but there's kind of a almost electrical manic energy that comes out of you, out of your eyes, I was watching Dog Day Afternoon the other day, and just you can tell that you're so inhabited by that role and by that moment. And after all these years, it's still spectacular, but you have this string that's just unprecedented. And I'm reading about it in the book, and the whole time you feel very detached from it.
Yes.
Like you're not reveling and going, yep. I mean, I'd be out on the street going, yep, that's me. See that guy up there? That's me.
You frequently are.
I frequently am. And the sad thing is I'm pointing at you. See that, Al Pacino? That's me. See? And then I go to the hospital and I get treatment. But you have this string, and it leads to more drinking, more drugs, more unhappiness, more feeling of being disconnected. Isn't that which I have to say surprised me. I wasn't aware.
Yeah. Well, it hit me. It just did. I felt the kind of isolation from it. I often talked about it as something like one has to earn one's relationships with friends and stuff. You're with people because you like being with them. You share the same thoughts about things, but if I entered a room and all of a sudden what I had to say became important, or, they all were looking and letting me talk. And I sort of never had that experience, and it was uncomfortable.
Right.
And I thought, well, we don't even know each other yet. And so to adjust to that, I've heard it said before, people adjusting to being famous and being accepted wherever you go. And so I remember, I don't know if I told the story about Marty Bregman, of course, was my producer. He produced.
You guys did so much together.
Yeah, we did. And so, oh my God, I'm sorry about this.
That's okay. That might be for me.
This seems
No, it's not.
Yes, this is so. Hi, honey. Hi, baby. I can't talk now. I'm with Conan O'Brien.
Yes!
Yeah, hear it?
Yes!
I'll be finished in a minute. Sorry, Conan. No, I'm just joking.
I can't believe you
I'll
call
call you
Coppola
later.
honey.
This is my daughter.
That's your daughter.
My youngest
Okay,
daughter.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad.
She's
I
in
thought
a new apartment. She's
You're not the superintendent, are you?
yeah.
I'll fix the pipe.
I could be.
no.
So I got to talk to
I
her
love it.
first.
There's still a couple of people in that building who still think Al is the superintendent. I'll be there.
Oh my!
I'll fix it. It's steam heat. It takes a while. Give it a second. You know what's crazy to me is, and again, I was unaware of this, but you have this, you make Scarface, and it is, at the time, critics are savage about it, and it has since become, in a lot of ways, I mean, financially, your biggest movie. It's huge, and it has this kind of enduring place in the culture, which nobody could have seen at the time. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
True. It's it seems like it is always there. There's a guy who wrote the Scarface Papers. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, but it explains some of the stuff about its consistency and why it's still around.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of help from hip hop and from the rappers early on, and the college kids, and then other things started happening, and then we went into that VH. That started
The VHS,
catch, the VHS, and that's what blew it up. And then it went across went over the ocean into Europe and Asia and everywhere. And so it's like this thing.
It's fascinating because it's so.
Oliver Stone wrote this script.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma directed it, and they hit something. Nobody could be more different than the three of us and Bregman. We were just three different planets, and there we were, and somehow it just made it work for some reason. I mean, Brian De Palma threw Oliver Stone off the set; he couldn't be there, and I mean, it was that kind of thing, and people were. But it's a beautiful script when you read it, and when you see what Brian has done with it. So,
it's what's amazing is, because I didn't know this. So this was in the book. One of your big contributions was you knew that Tony he's Scarface. He's got to have a scar. And you said you thought of the idea that it should come across the eyebrow. And you said in the book you did that because you thought that showed chaos.
Yes.
And I read that and I thought, yes, it does. Yes. That's fantastic.
You don't know what you're going to get. This is chaos.
It's disconcerting. I don't know how you thought of that, but the fact that an eyebrow is cut in two is on a level very disconcerting.
Yes.
In a subtle way that you didn't get a giant, you didn't do that. No. And it led me back to, it's a theme in your book. I don't know if this is conscious or unconscious. I know you've done a lot of therapy, but it does feel to me like there's some part of you that likes chaos. I mean, theater.
Oh, come on, of course. I mean, without chaos, where are we? Are we floating? Something.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Yeah.
No, but the kind of chaos, is that's why I always ride the 5 p.m. subway in New York.
Yeah.
I like the rush hour. Just sit around there. Here they go, Will the doors open, It sort of gives you a lift, you just feel, I'm alive and it's coming. I don't have anywhere to go, though. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, I don't want you on the 5 o'clock subway anymore.
No, I got to get off.
I'm going to come with you. They'll be like, Al Pacino's with that gorgeous redhead. There is a thing that happened where because Robert De Niro came along at the same time and he's in Godfather 2, and you talk about it in the book, there was always this Pacino, De Niro, Pacino. And you said you guys were always friendly.
Yeah.
You admired each other's work.
Yeah.
You boosted each other. But of course, the media likes to try and make it something. And you say in the book, I think it's just because both of our names ended in a vowel that
that would help a little. Yeah. They should throw in Dustin Hoffman, but his name didn't ring a bell.
Well, they changed it at Ellis Island from Hoffmano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just curious, you finally, first time you work together, you have it is in Heat. And you have that scene, and that's another movie I've seen 1,000 times, and we'll see 1,000 more. But you have that scene in the diner, which is such a great idea, where you just pull over De Niro. He's the bad guy. You're the good guy. You're the cop. He's the robber. Let's talk. And the two of you sit down, and it's such a spectacular scene. And in the book, you reveal that De Niro said, let's not rehearse it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
No rehearsal.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite scenes.
Wow. No, he was right thinking that way. It was perfect. I mean, to do it that way, these guys. Yeah.
And what a great idea to have the two characters. Let's take a second. Let's sit down and tell each other who we are. Yeah. And then we will shake hands and go back to trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful idea that I thought was just, and the fact that you just did it, is that the one take, or do you did it many times?
Oh, many times. This is Michael Mann directing it.
Oh, okay.
You get to do it many times.
Yeah. You were there for 6 years.
Yeah.
Even when you had long beards at the end.
They're doing a take later.
I'd like to do this again. When I come in, can I do it?
What's that?
No, well, as Michael Chekhov said, the great acting impresario, the actress comes in the door and says, "Oh, Dr. Maestro, I really want to be an actress, I really want it. I want it so much." He says, "Yes. Go outside, come in again, and do the same thing, and I'll tell you if you could be an actress."
Wow. Can you do it? Yeah.
I wanted to slap him in the face for doing that. That is so pompous and assholey. I don't do that. But
I don't know, I was thinking,
yeah. I mean, somehow,
but I'm kind of an asshole.
No, somehow it works. Asshole just came in my head just now while I was saying it. I said it sounds. When I first heard it, I thought a lot of truth in that. But now I'm an old fella, and I think it's disconcerting.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Well,
I've gone so far in my brain.
Are you able, after writing this book now,
to write another?
No.
I am really ready. It'll be about this show. How could I not?
Yeah. I'm just curious if you are able to now look back at this process. You have to be able to look back now and go, Jesus Christ, what a ride.
Well,
and I'm Al Pacino.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the truth. I was doing it, working on it, working with some good people, and I devoted myself to whatever I did. But as soon as I finished it, I didn't want to look at it anymore. I thought it was done. It was over. I said, it's like when I did Looking for Richard, I would sit in, they had these audiences would come in, I don't know what you call them again.
Test audiences?
Test audiences.
Yeah.
And they would write it. And I'd be sitting there and I was thinking, I don't want them to come. We're not ready. The film was at the editing room, by the way. I thought somehow from the editing room to the theater where it was going to play, someone would change it and make it better, you know.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to tell them, remember that in the book? I wanted to tell them, I was just, listen, don't take this seriously. I was just trying to put something together. I mean, it's fine. I'm just trying. You don't have to stay. You don't have to go. You know,
you don't say that to
nervous.
You don't say that to a test audience.
You don't.
You shouldn't probably see this. This was a mistake. Exactly. You should go now.
I don't think this is for you. You know,
there's a nugget in this book that is it's such a great visual that I just had to bring it up to you, which is the moment where you're making The Godfather and Coppola says, you should talk to Brando. You know, you guys should get to know each other a little bit. And you're shooting the scene in the hospital where you go and you end up saving Vito's life. But he says, you should go talk to him. So they arrange for you guys to have lunch together in one of those hospital rooms. Mm-hmm. And you said, it's such a great picture. You're not saying much. Brando's talking to you. And the whole time he's talking, he's eating chicken cacciatore with a lot of sauce with his hands.
What?
With his hands. And he's talking to you and you... And then at the end, he says, like, hey, kid, I think you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be all right. And then you describe what you're wondering the whole time, he doesn't have a napkin. His hands are covered.
I'm wondering what I should do with that chicken catch. I got mesmerized.
But
didn't hear anything he said.
Yeah.
You know.
But he's probably giving you the greatest acting advice ever.
Of course.
And you're like, whoa.
He is.
That looks like it's got extra Parmesan. Yes. But then you describe what he does. His hands are covered in sauce, and you're like, he doesn't have a napkin.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a napkin, so he puts his hands on the bedsheet of the hospital, white bedsheet, and wipes them on that.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's not
funny.
Such a bad thing.
No, but it's
you
funny.
had to be there. I would do it too today. You know?
But you know what's so
I
funny?
See this, they send me to lunch and you don't give me napkins. That's simple.
But you know what's so funny, Al? What's so funny is in the book you were like, you see him and he finishes and he sees he's on this white bed and he does that and you went, that's a movie star.
Yes, exactly.
That's a movie star. Well, this will work.
Is that what movie stars do? I'm going to be one then.
I got to be one of those.
No, he was the greatest person you ever want to know.
Did you get to know him well?
Oh, well, of course. I was with him a lot. And, you know, I remember Marlon giving me just being around him. There's such warmth to him, you know, and he's so sensitive how he sees you, especially other actors. He was so wonderful to me and everybody and funny, but he was particularly funny with Jimmy Caan because the two of them had done films together. So he was
comfortable with Jimmy Caan.
Yeah, much more. And I was always sort of sulking somewhere. I never knew if I was coming or going. You know, I was always just like there somehow saying, okay, I got away with that. Now what's next? You know? But I remember one of the last things he said to me, I was on 79th Street outside in the summertime, wherever it was, in those along Columbus Avenue. There was, I don't remember the restaurant, whatever, but I was out there by myself and he called me and I said, oh, you know, he wanted something. I said, sure. And then he said, Al, stay out of court. I said, he knew me. I can't go to court. I can't go to court. Now I'm going to go to court, I'm sure. Just cut this out.
Stay out of court? What are you talking about? That was his advice to you, stay out of court.
It was like he meant divorce court.
Oh, I see.
See, that's what he meant.
I see, yes. Well, that's a good idea. I love it. Yeah. Here's the big tip from Marlon Brando. I could... unfortunately for you, talk to you for 40 hours and never be happy, but I want to let you go. Because,
you're throwing me out?
No, I'm not throwing you out. This reminds me actually of, I said at the beginning, I don't really get starstruck. I've met everybody. Not long ago, I'm in New York on business. Someone says, hey, come with me, go to dinner. I think we go to Polo Bar. And I'm walking out and I see... out of the corner of my eye, an iconic figure, and I look, and you were sitting in a big banquette, and you're by yourself. I think you were with people, but they had just used the bathroom or something, and you're just sitting there, and you point. And I think, he's pointing at someone. And I do the classic thing of I look behind me, and you go, you, and you go, come here. And I go, me?
Yeah.
So I go over, and you go, Conan, how are you? I won't do you to
I
you.
wanted to tell you how much I love you. I really did.
You know what's so crazy? So I'm talking to you, and I'm just thinking the whole time, because you talk about this a lot in your book, how you always think, I got to get out of here, and no one really wants to see me. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you're talking to me, and you're telling me, about you're going to show The Godfather, you're going to show it up at somewhere in northern Manhattan. They're going to have a big screening of it, and you're talking to me, and I said, "That's such an honor to see you, such an honor to see you." And
You're
I
talking
said,
too much, Al.
Yeah, no, you weren't. I was thought, Conan, don't overstay your welcome. He just wanted to say hi, get out. So I say, such an honor. You take care, Al, and I leave. The next day, by pure coincidence, I run into one of the people who had just joined you at the table, and they said, I just got there, and you were walking away, and Al went, what happened? He fled. And I was just thinking, it's Al Pacino. Don't fuck this up. Get away. But the next time I see you, and I'm going to follow you and see you, and I'm going to haunt you, I'm going to sit down, okay?
Okay.
You don't seem thrilled about it.
No, you're going too far.
You're going to get stilettoed.
I got to use the bathroom. I'll be back with a gun. The book is Sonny Boy. It's the best thing I've read in a long time. Everyone's going to read it. Everyone's going to buy it. And I'm blessed to know you. I really am. Thank you for being here. God bless.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I did your show. I really am. Thank you.
Oh, I'm done now. This is my last podcast. Thank you. Yeah.
No, don't go that far.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, babe. I'm Al Pacino, and I am hopeful about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
You want a friend who stutters?
Yeah, I think I'm out, by the way.
Who can't read?
That didn't come from the heart at all. I thought you've given some great performances.
It came from the heart. It's, please get this right. You need a little heart to do
All right,
this.
I got to tell you something. I've never said this before on the podcast. I've talked to everybody. I've talked to presidents. You, sir.
Yes.
You, sir, put your phone away for this. Put your phone away for this, because this is a huge honor for you, what I'm about to say.
It is no.
Yeah. This is no higher honor than what I'm about to say to you. You are my favorite actor, and this is the most excited I've been to talk to anybody. This is a big fucking deal for me. Al Pacino, I'm blessed that you are here.
Oh, well, wow. Thank you for that. I'm taking my sunglasses off now.
You did.
That one got them off. Thank you so much.
And I want to say this. So you've written this book, Sonny Boy. It is your story, your autobiography. And they got me an advance copy. And I holed myself up in my room, and I read this thing. And it is a spectacular book. This is the best biography I can remember reading. It is such an amazing story. I thought I knew everything about you. It's an incredible book. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's all the time we have.
Yes.
It's been nice having you here.
I'm not having that kind of luck today.
Let me tell you something. I'm hard-pressed to think of anyone who's had more iconic performances than you. You are in just such elite company of actors, 20th century, 21st century actors. And I read this story, and there's so much despair in it. There are highs, but there are lows. To people like me that think about Al Pacino, I just think, it's just been what a miraculous, never-ending series of successes. But your childhood in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm reading about it, and it could have been the 1890s. I mean, I know it's the 1940s, early 50s, but you're running around like one of the dead end kids with a gang. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely incredible. And you're constantly almost getting killed.
Well, it still goes on. On the way up here,
it's a tough part of Central Hollywood right here. Beverly Hills, there are some sections, but
we're going to dodge those lattes.
But no, I mean, you're talking about this period of your life, and it feels like it could be 100 years ago. It's such a crazy experience. And what you went through, your father leaves when you're 2 years
a little
old.
less than, no, yeah, a little, yeah, 2. Okay,
Let's just go with 2.
Go with 2, please.
Yeah. Okay, let's just
Even
go with 2.
number,
Yes.
you know.
You were 1.9. Your father left, and your mom has mental health issues, and then she passes away when you're still a very young man, and you live kind of a chaotic young life. That was a real surprise to me. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Had you ever heard of any part of my life at all? Or?
I knew that you had been in theater, and that your success, it always felt to me that the Al Pacino story was young guy doing theater, gets The Godfather, hits it out of the park, and then the rest is spectacular. I read this story, and it's almost miraculous that you get out of childhood. Do you know what I mean? That's the feeling I had.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't mean that for you to have that feeling, but it's great you had a feeling, you know.
I haven't had a feeling in a very long time.
I know. I'm trying reading the first 2 chapters of my book. I'm doing the audio of it now, and it's really a knockout. It really knocks you out. I mean, you start seeing your life, and you know, in order to read a book, you know, you have to act the parts because you just read a monotone. Some of the monotone readers are wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean, I really get the great Sean Penn reads Bob Dylan. I read that. Did anybody hear that book?
I haven't heard that one. No, I've heard Sean Penn sings Bob Dylan. I don't I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. He ends up punching the microphone.
Oh my God! Oh well, he got Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
he really got his tone, and so I'm reading these stories, and of course I lived through them, so I'm sort of reliving them.
Yeah,
and it's tough.
I would think it's tough because you run around with this gang of kids, South Bronx. You know, I know that and you point out that your mom did keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
You did feel that you were more supervised than some. A lot of your friends don't make it.
Yeah.
They die.
Yeah.
They die. They get into heroin. And it's very poignant because you start the book with them. And then at the end of the book, after this incredible career, you go back and kind of dedicate it to these guys that didn't get out of the South Bronx, which is very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt like, almost like, I might be reaching here, but was there a little bit of survivor's guilt there? Like, how did I get out and they didn't get out?
Well, I always thought about that. Yeah. The thing that was so interesting to me that I recalled was one of my friends dying and being buried and around it with these you remember the one I say about this sort of cold January morning or something?
Yeah.
All
Bleak,
around it,
bleak.
And Bruce is lowered, and the mother's crying, who I knew, of course, and this aunt or somebody I never saw starts to relate her feelings about Bruce and what she thought happened to him.
Yeah.
And it was so profound. And this is someone I knew. I did comedy routines with it. We used to do that stuff. And she's so out of nowhere, like just read him so wonderfully. And I learned about him. And it was, that was shocking to me.
You talk about it in the book, and it's interesting because obviously so many people are going to pick up this book and say, I want to hear about, and these are things, I want to hear about the Godfather movies. I want to hear about, all these iconic roles, all the people you knew, all the people you met. But to me, in a way, the most fascinating aspect of it is that you start with these people, you get out. And when I say you get out, none of us understands why. I mean, I've had some crazy good fortune in my life, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And I stopped trying to figure it out a while ago. I was driving here today. I have a ritual with my brothers where we watch the Godfather movies religiously. We can quote them from beginning to end. We always quote them to each other. And I'm talking to my brother Luke. And I said, guess where I'm going? I'm going to work today and I'm going to talk to and interview Al Pacino. And my brother said, I'm very proud of you, but who the fuck are you to talk to Al Pacino? Why you? And I said, Luke, I don't know, but I'm gonna go with it.
I think he should be here. Let's bring him in.
He's a criminal. Yeah.
Well, he's welcome.
He's in prison right now. Luke, we're thinking of you.
Well, Al Pacino was just here.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
He's my favorite actor.
Oh, he's an actor.
Oh my God.
You're like, who is this man? No, he is my favorite actor of all
Mm-hmm.
time. And I was just so electrified that he came in and he was so fantastic. It was so much fun. And I remembered just before the interview, we had this big talk because I think people were a little on edge today.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big day.
It's a big
You don't
day.
know what you're getting.
Aaron Blair wore a blazer.
Whoa.
And look at him.
Thank you.
Which is, and to be fair, I read his book and loved it. I was rewatching movies. I was thinking a lot about Mr. Pacino, Al. I was really preparing for this. And, yeah, it's called preparing, Sona.
I was going to say, I am preparing.
You familiar?
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't just walk in here and just wing it? Okay.
It depends.
I'm Conan. I like to be prepared.
It depends, who it is. When it's the cast of Selling the OC, maybe I wing it. But
Can't wait for that.
Shocked you know that.
oh my God, you have no idea what I know. But when it's Al Pacino, I don't need to prepare because I feel like I know his career cold, but I really wanted to read the book and think about it. And everybody was in a slightly different mode today. I could tell.
There's also 40 more people than is ever here,
yeah.
Yes.
too.
Yeah. It was really something. Suddenly people are here who've never here before. Like, I'm here to fix the cigarette machine.
Yeah.
We don't have a cigarette machine.
And that was De Niro.
Yeah, it was De Niro. And so but then we get in here and we start talking about like, well, let's not make him wear a headset like we always do with people. But then we get into this classic conversation that we've had many times with Eduardo, because these are directional mics. Eduardo, I give it up for you. You're a brilliant guy. You built this place.
Thank you.
You did a wonderful job. Sometimes you're a little, and for a reason, these are directional mics.
Correct.
But you want everyone's lips to be on mic.
Yes.
No, he just wants people to be on
On
mic.
mic.
Yeah, he
That's
just
right.
wants
It's a
people
podcast.
to
That's right.
talk
Yeah.
into
No, I understand.
the
I understand.
microphone.
But
Thank you, guys.
when the police are trying to bug an apartment, they put a little bug, up in the lamp, and then they hear them saying, yeah, we'll kill him, yeah, and then they arrest them.
That's why
it's very
never
hard.
admissible in court because it's like.
Well, they put plenty of mobsters away using the same technology. Anyway, we have these microphones that you really need to be close to them, and the fear is that maybe any of these actors that we have on or anybody might just be talking and they may lean back, they may drift from the mic.
Billie Eilish.
And
It's
Billie
happened.
Eilish.
It's
Yeah.
happened plenty of times.
So you were saying that if they wear the headsets, they know when they're wandering away from the mic. But I didn't want that. So I was trying to think of a way that we cannot wear headsets, because I don't want to talk to Al Pacino while he's wearing what like a submarine sonar guy would have in a World War II movie.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Al Pacino. And so I was hoping, let's not do that. Let's just not do that. And then I came up with an idea for a fix.
No.
Which we thought was a real idea when you
And
were
I
first
told
setting
these
it
guys-
You set this up.
I set it up so well. I
soberly.
said, guys, I have a way to fix this. It's a technological fix. And you guys were actually looking at me like, well, he probably does have
I
something.
knew you were.
You probably knew.
I knew you were not serious.
Okay, but I think Eduardo,
I
Yeah.
was intrigued.
Blay,
Yeah.
1,000%.
you thought, and what about you?
I just wasn't listening.
Okay. Anyway, I said, no, I'm really serious, guys. This is what we should do. We should get a little, just like a little clip, and it's tied to a nylon cord, and we clip it to them, and it's really secure. And you guys were still looking at me like, where's he going with this? And then the clip attaches to like a little wheel right here, and then it runs underneath the table, and Eduardo has it, and he if someone starts to drift off mic, he can pull on it, and they're like, anyway, I just think and suddenly
We should do that with him.
so Al Pacino would be like, and then I was saying, I was talking to when we shot The Godfather Part 2, I go, and then Eduardo would slowly let it out. Anyway, I said to Coppola, I hope it works because I'm a little worried. Now, the funny thing you got to remember about Diane Keaton is, and then Eduardo lets it out just a little bit, and then a tug to remind him who's boss.
I love the idea.
So I think we do this idea.
Can you do that, but it actually pulls him away from the mic?
It's even better.
You know what? I'll have so great. You'll all have wires.
Yes.
So I'll start.
Yes.
So I have no wires, but I'll be like, yeah. And another thing, Sona. Or, oh well, Gourley, I think.
I love it.
I'm just kidding. You guys are just yanking me around,
Oh my god.
and all the people hear is wing, Hawaii, zing.
Can we just talk about how personable he was too, and how he would talk? And listeners don't know this, but there are two types of guests on the show: those that just kind of come in and they're tunnel vision, they look at you, and then those that are like really talk to everyone in the room. And he was one of those people that would just make eye contact with people.
I don't know if you could tell, but I started to build a brick wall so that he couldn't see you guys.
Yeah.
I have, because I keep bricks here.
Yes, I know that.
And I have a lathe, and I was just quickly he was.
Yeah.
I think it honestly comes from the fact that when you read his book, yes, he's an iconic film star, but in his heart, he's a guy who wants to go to the theater and work with everybody and figure it out. And you can tell that's what he loves, is he loves this kind of communal. And I think that's his instinct, is he's not here just to talk to me. He's here to have an experience with us.
Well, you know how you can tell he's a man of the people? When his phone rang in that interview, I looked over and his phone case is all Shrek heads. It's just printed multiple sized Shrek heads all over.
Yeah, he's a dad with some kids.
I love it.
And
he's
got
a new
Shrek
dad.
heads. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, and then his phone went off.
Yeah.
Midway through the interview. That's happened before, maybe.
I don't know if but when it
once or
rang,
twice.
my heart dropped because I was like, please don't let it be my phone.
It's usually Sona when it's
yeah.
happened.
What the fuck? Is
No.
it?
To be fair, it was Al Pacino's phone, but it was Sona calling.
Yeah. Asking, who are you?
Well, yeah, like, can you just tell me who you are real quick? So what did you act in?
Which reality show were you in?
Keep at it, buddy. I'm sure you'll make it.
I definitely had a minor panic attack when a phone went off because that's always something I'm constantly worried about or whatever. And then as soon as it was his phone, relief.
Yes,
relief.
I'm the same. I love when it goes off and it's your phone.
Yeah, that's hardly ever happened.
That's how. That's you, and then
You know why?
get mad.
My
and then
phone
you
is always
realize
on,
it's your
but no
phone.
one ever calls me.
You also had these glasses on the table, just like Mo Green in The Godfather, and I kept expecting you to put them back on. And
It's so. Those movies are so seared into my brain,
Me
and
too,
not
man.
just those. So many of his movies, and
Mhm.
you know,
I'm serious. I know who he is.
Yeah, I
you guys
know.
are making.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
'Cause
know
Matt,
you.
Matt looked at me like, Sona, do you know what
no,
The Godfather is?
No, it was
Oh.
it was your. It wasn't me being
I
condescending.
can't hear me. I don't have headphones on.
There you go.
But I will say he's multi-generational. Like, it doesn't, because Eduardo, you were saying for you it's
Yes,
Scarface.
Scarface for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you know, I remembered when I was in college. Yeah, The Godfather 1 and 2 was a big thing, but Scarface was huge.
some of
Michelle
my
Pfeiffer.
best friendships were formed over that movie. So,
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I thought you said
Special.
some of your best friends were dealing cocaine in Miami and shooting each other
He
with
did
machine
not
guns.
say that.
Yeah. And then it just keeps going, because I was talking to a friend of mine who's like a workout fanatic, and he'd be in his 30s, and he was just saying, like, I said that I was going to be talking to Al Pacino, and he said that speech he gives in Any Given Sunday. And I thought, oh my God, it just goes and goes and goes. It's incredible.
And then into the current day with The Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep. And he's the voice of the new Shrek.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Donkey, what are you fucking doing? Hey, Donkey, why don't you go out in the rowboat and say a Hail Mary? I killed the fucking donkey! I've lost my soul! That's a Shrek turn I haven't seen.
Oh, my God.
All right, well, that was really, wow, that was fun. That's a high.
It is pretty
That was nice to
surreal.
experience that.
I hesitate to do this, but I have to thank you for bringing these kind of crazy experiences into my life.
Oh my
it's
God, I
amazing
know.
to be able to sit by and watch this happen.
Well, I think he was here to see all of us.
That's
probably
absolutely not true.
I
Doesn't
know, I know.
We were
exist.
waiting for I was waiting for you
I
to
was going to
finish.
slam you at the end, but he didn't get. He didn't give me a
Yeah.
chance.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. He
that's
wasn't,
bullshit.
He was
Yeah,
No,
well, I
no.
think I wanted to cut it off before.
Yeah.
we
No,
could-
it almost makes me.
He outside was saying like, I don't want anyone else in the room, and I said, it's kind of how we do it. And he went, well, I don't like Gourley. I've heard his
Yeah.
other podcasts.
that
He does something
feels
with
right.
about Bonanza, and I was like, no.
I love.
It's too niche. It's too niche what he does. Who wants to listen to him and Andy Daly? Just paddle on. And I said, Al, just come on in. And Sona, what's that all about? I mean, did she land her ass in butter or what? She's a bad assistant and now she gets a job for life? And I said, Al, just come on in. Then why is Blay wearing a blazer? That's not who Blay is.
Everyone turns into Nixon, too. That's amazing.
And I'll tell you something else. Let's get Haldeman and Ehrlichman, and let's start a mob, and we'll take over the 5 families. Everything is Nixon! What's about the SNL days? Because people love to hear about those times. We're gonna time travel now back to the year 1951 when you and I worked on a radio show called Saturday Night Live.
So you mentioned Tom, and so Franken and Davis, we would do this thing, a show within a show called the Franken and Davis Show, and we had my parents on twice, and once they got cut.
Your parents got cut.
Between dress and air.
That's
yeah.
rough.
And so the first time they were on, they just came on, and the character I played was me as an asshole, right? And so
Wait, that was a character?
that was a character. It's just like you self-deprecate and paint yourself kind of as an asshole all the time.
Yeah, but we all know
and
I'm
we all know
complete opposite.
Exactly.
Complete 180-degree opposite.
So that was the whole premise here, kind of. So anyway, so I have my parents on, and I sing a song with them. Hey, Mom and Dad, this song is for you. I sang it a different key, better. Anyway, so and I sing, and then my mom says, "This reminds me of when they called from school and said you had shit your pants or something like that." And I went, "Mom," and I get mad at her.
Right.
And my dad says, "Stop yelling at your mother." And she said, "Crap your pants." This is
Right.
And then I get mad at him. I'm an asshole, and I kick my dad in the ass. Okay. So that one was on. Everyone loved it. Next time I have them on, Tom and I would do very dark stuff. And in this one, I think I have them. They're in dress. They're wearing Stars of David and overcoats, circa 1935, Nazi Germany. And Tom and I are in Gestapo outfits.
Right.
Look at the smile on your face.
Well, this was this was something you kind of could do back then, right? You could do very dark. The show, hallmark of the show, sometimes very dark.
Especially after a certain hour, things could get very dark.
And Tom and I were always on after that hour.
Right.
And so the whole point was, at a certain point, my dad goes, "Alan, I can't do this. We rehearsed it, and we've done it all week. Why did you say now? We're on the show. We're live. I just can't. My friends, I can't go back to Temple and do this sketch with you in the Gestapo, And then I get really mad at him and yell at him, and this kind of ends that way.
Yeah.
Bernie Brillstein,
Famous. What would you call him?
manager.
No, he was a manager, but he was even beyond that. He was a man that looked like Santa Claus and was a show business legend and had a big personality.
Yeah.
He was represented everybody.
Including Lauren, and just said to him, he's watching a dress and going, "You can't do this." So, and I guess he was right. And so I think we could have done it, but anyway. So my parents get cut, and Lauren comes up to me after the show and said, "Al, don't put me in the position of cutting your parents ever again."
Were they upset that they were cut? They must have been.
A little bit, but I mean, they understood. I couldn't go like, "Lauren, that's amazing that you cut us on the Gestapo Star of David." My parents as Jews.
That's just the tip of
me
the
as-
iceberg with you. You were constantly pitching ideas that you loved to go right up to the edge, and then,
sometimes over it.
Yes, miles and miles beyond. Were you always like that?
Well, I think I just came of age during a period where very dark humor was about the opposite of it. In other words, that you were exploring really dark things in order to laugh at how awful they were.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went over a line at times. And were you on the show at Comedy Killers?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was Downey and I had this idea for
Jim Downey, head writer, it
was a game show like Jeopardy, but it was called Comedy Killers. So the categories were the Holocaust, the Kennedys, cancer.
Yeah.
And so this is a joke I tell in my act because everything I'd ever done when I ran for the Senate in comedy was used against me.
Yeah.
And I told a joke from that sketch that Rosie Schuster wrote. And it was, "This would have been a bad gift for Anne Frank.
Right.
What is a drum set?"
Oh,
God. Jesus.
So
That's brought up now, of course, you're running then for Senate. And
Al Franken told jokes about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd written a magazine article in the late 90s saying that parents should probably monitor what their kids get online. And but I wrote it satirically. So I said, my son, Joe, did a great 4th grade report last week on bestiality, and he downloaded a lot of great visual aids. And the kids in the class just loved them. And it was Al Franken told jokes about bestiality. So we had to, Chuck Schumer was like monitoring my race. I was running for the nomination at the time.
Yeah.
And he's going, "But this is too much baggage." So my pulse, we had to do focus groups to see if this really was a problem and if we could, overcome it. And so she had the focus group in, and the first question she asked, if you knew that Al Franken told jokes about bestiality, would you be more likely to vote for him? It turned out less likely. But we discovered that, if you explain things, that Minnesotans got irony and they got, what satire was. And so it wasn't a real problem. And then I went out to show this great report saying it wasn't a problem to Harry Reid.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me, "What joke did you tell about the Holocaust?"
And
I said, "Well, the joke was, I think a bad Hanukkah gift for Anne Frank would have been a drum set." And then Harry started shaking. And I start thinking, okay, this is either very good or very bad.
Right.
And he just thought it was the funniest joke he'd ever heard. So I was okay.
Right.
After that. But the best joke in Comedy Killers, the sketch you remember, was Final Comedy Killer, like Final Jeopardy. Mm-hmm. It was, the ding, 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 the long, was the biggest comedy killer of all time. Downey wrote this joke. Here it was. What was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand?
How did this sketch play in front of the audience?
Great.
Did it?
Yeah. It was, what year was it? I don't know. It was in the 80s. I think.
Yeah, probably
I think
88.
World War I was closer at that time.
Yeah, people have forgotten.
It was
Archduke
like,
Ferdinand.
34 years closer or something, 35 years closer. So everyone was a big, oh, that was terrible, that war. And of course, started by the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, by
And the
Gabriel.
trench warfare.
Gabriel Princip, I think, shot him.
Yes.
Interesting. Archduke Ferdinand was on his way back. He was leaving Sarajevo.
Are you doing a comedy killer?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was leaving Sarajevo. His driver took a wrong turn,
Really?
and his car kind of stopped right in front of a cafe. Princip had his chance to shoot, the Archduke, and hadn't done it. But suddenly he's sitting in a cafe consoling himself by having a cup of coffee when this car pulls up in front of that cafe, and who's in it but the Archduke and his wife. And he just puts his cup of coffee down and steps out and kills them both. What an insane coinkydink. Anywho, we were doing comedy killers, and I wanted to keep going with the Archduke Ferdinand.
Well, that shows something.
Nothing.
What?
What? I'm sorry. Why did he suddenly have the balls to do it if he couldn't do it the first time?
I think he wasn't able. I think there was.
He didn't have a shot.
Yeah,
right?
I think he didn't have a shot.
He just couldn't do it. Not that he chickened out.
No, I think his blood sugar was low. But then he had a donut and a cup of coffee, and then this guy in a big hat with ostrich feathers and medals pulls up right outside.
He read his horoscope too, and it was in favor of it.
Yeah. And the waiter said, "Oh, we're also serving gun today." I grabbed a gun and said, "I'll take one of those," and then the whole thing just came together beautifully.
Okay. That's cool.
We've known each other for a long time, and I've seen you through, I think, a dispassionate lens where I can say there was this period in the Senate where you needed to be serious.
Yeah, they said, don't be funny.
They said, don't be funny. And so...
Don't be funny. Don't be funny on the floor.
Right.
Don't be funny in hearings. Don't be funny. Don't be funny.
No jokes, no sarcasm, because the other side, whoever that is, can take that out of context. Just read it.
Well, that was true. Of course, that was true. But it was also more, you won by 312 votes.
Right.
And people in Minnesota want to know that you're serious about this.
Yeah.
And I went, no shit. And I didn't really internalize it at first. So I tell the story, and first day I'm there, I get sworn in, go back to my office. First day in my office. I've never been, take the subway back to the office, go to the Hart building, get in my office. There's a sheet on my desk. And I learned that one of your duties as a senator is to write congratulatory notes to constituents. Mm-hmm. And this first note is to Ruth Anderson, who's turning 110. She's from Marshall, Minnesota. She's turning 110. So I've been told, don't be funny. So I get out my official stationery, use it for the first time. I write, Dear Ruth, you have a bright future.
And then someone put that in the shredder.
Close. My new assistant, who I hadn't met, comes in. Well, I'd met her, but I hadn't worked with her. She takes it and brings it to my new chief of staff, who I selected. And he says, what is this? And I said, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You think Ruth Anderson will find it funny? I said, I don't know. She's 110. He said, do you think her family will find it funny? Yeah. And I went, oh, yeah. And I started thinking about her 90-year-old son reading it.
But see, this is what I'm trying to get to is for those of us who knew you and you worked so hard at being a senator and taking it very seriously and really doing the work. And,
well, of course.
But
Of course.
It was interesting.
Of course.
For me to see you.
I'm going to keep saying that.
Of course. It was interesting to see you at that time because I knew that you had to restrain this whole other side of you, which was really funny because you really can't be doing that if you're in the Senate. And then now I see that you're just back to hitting on all cylinders comedically.
I'd say on 3 out of 4. No,
Okay.
I'm trying to hit on all cylinders. No, it's been great.
It's
I've been
like a
doing this.
12-cylinder engine, and you're hitting on 3 cylinders. We're talking about a classic.
I like to say 8.
Mhm.
3 out of 4. But no, I think I'm hitting. I'm doing high. So
2 cylinders. 2 cylinders
It's
now.
a two-
You're now down to 2 out of 12.
oh boy.
The car is smoking. It's not even moving.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it was interesting. Like the second week I'm there, there's a Supreme Court hearing, and I'm on the Judiciary Committee, and Sotomayor, and Amy Klobuchar, who's my senior senator, who's was a prosecutor, asked her, like, why did you become a prosecutor? And she said, well, because I watched Perry Mason as a, and I watched Perry Mason too. And so when it got to me, I just said, why, if you watch Perry Mason, a show in which the prosecutor lost every case.
Yes.
Why did you become a prosecutor? And she goes, actually, Berger won one case.
Yeah.
That was a prosecutor. And so I said, okay, well, look, I got 30 minutes of questioning, so let's get to that. And then at the end, I had about a minute left, and I couldn't develop a new line of questioning. So I said, okay, as long as we're at it, what case did Perry Mason lose?
Yeah.
And she said, I don't know. And I said, just because I'm trained like you, I just said, didn't the White House prepare you? Which, of course,
Didn't they prepare you on TV trivia?
well, she offered it as
Yeah,
a piece of information and then couldn't follow up. So that was very damaging. But, but what the point about that is I just got killed for that.
Really?
Does Al Franken have to be funny?
Yeah.
And it was, as you know, it was just, I didn't go, okay, I will ask her why she became a prosecutor. Because Amy hadn't asked that yet.
Yeah.
And then she will say Perry Mason. And then I'll say, well, how did you become? Because
At what point, because I know that you know your history well, at what point were we not allowed to be funny anymore in our political discourse? I mean, real politicians, I'm not talking about wags on the sidelines, but there have been some
there's a kind of funny you're supposed to be.
Right.
Or can be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's funny. Like, everyone hates me because I say Lindsey Graham was the funniest. Yeah. Sona just hates me right now. I saw that in your eyes.
I don't hate you. I'm just confused.
Well, it is confusing.
He has a quick sense of humor. He has a sharp sense of humor.
He does, and his sense of humor is, I'm very cynical. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to, we're taking a break for winter vacation, for Christmas vacation. And he says, Al, you going anywhere? Take your family for sun. And I said, I'm going to Vieques, which is Puerto Rico. And he goes like, immediately, boom, do 2 fundraisers. One for the people who are for statehood, one for the people who are against. They never talk to each other.
Oh my God.
And every one of his jokes is, I'm the most cynical guy in the world.
Yeah. And he's proving that, actually.
He has
day
proved
in
it.
and day out. Now that you're doing stand-up, and I love the name of your tour, and I have it right here, and I'm gonna read it off this piece of paper. Because that's how I work. I like to include people in the process so they can see behind the scenes what's happening. You're touring the country, and the name of the tour is The Only Former U.S. Senator Currently on Tour. I love that.
I wanted to say what it was.
Are you talking about current events a lot in your stand-up, or are you talking about your years in the Senate?
It's sort of biographical. So how I became, like Zelensky, right, is considered now probably the bravest person. And of course, comedian, bravest profession.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Podcaster, maybe third.
That sounds right.
As profession.
Yeah.
But of comedians, Jewish comedians, the bravest.
Come
And
up with that?
then, well,
The Irish, of course.
and then
are notoriously
Jewish
brave.
comedians who go into politics, like Zelensky, the bravest.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
so then I talk about how I became one of basically the second bravest person. In the world. So it's biographical, and then I get to me in the Senate, and I talk about those colleagues, and and then I go into some stuff that's happening now.
Zelensky famously, Putin invades, and the United States reaches out and says, "We can airlift you out of there right away." And he says, "I need guns, not a ride." Such a cool line. Now,
Perfect.
Al, you in that same situation, I see you fleeing with a suitcase.
I actually say
running with a suitcase that keeps flapping open and long underwear falls out, and you've got to stop and shove it back in, and then you keep running.
and
True or
that-
false?
I've thought about this myself. I mean, it was ballsy. I mean, he said, "I don't want to ride. I want ammunition," and that was pretty. I have to ask you. You're married to a guy from Russia.
He's from Armenia, which was part of the Soviet Union.
Oh,
Yeah, but he speaks Russian.
And Tak has children's toys that are from his youth.
Yeah. That are
In the Soviet Union, were you little children's toys? Do your kids play with the little Soviet toys?
they love those Soviet toys.
They're cute. You
Really?
pull the string and it says, "Get in line for bread."
But it says in Russian.
I pitched to TAC that we start a podcast about American versus Soviet toys called Perestroika. And
That's perestroika.
Ooh.
I would listen to that. That's great.
Well, those would be French toys.
Okay. God.
Goodbye.
Hey, wait.
Thank you very much.
Hey, wait a minute, Al. This is very rare, but the new low light has just gone off.
he's standing.
He's still
standing
wow,
and bowing.
He's standing.
Wow, this is the longest ovation anyone's
Incredible.
gotten.
Amazing. Wow, look, just taking in all the love.
From Perestroika would be French toys.
Every time you came on my show, in the late night show, years and years and years, you'd come on, and at the end, when the music
would
was
dance.
playing, you would do an insane dance up and down the aisles, running and burning all these calories, and the audience loved it. And then I think
You never ran it.
9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, it got cut for time.
Oh,
I mean, you worked so hard on that ending, and it was fantastic. I think it got in once.
I'm not sure it did. No, this was the comedy of energy. That's all it was, right?
It's called, what they used to call it in vaudeville was a sweat act. Martin and Lewis, they would say, it's a sweat act.
I don't.
It's just
do
a lot of
sweat.
jumping around. And then, of course, Jack Benny, or, there are other
What was
comedians
the
that would-
theme? What's the end of the theme? You can sing the theme of your show.
Oh, here we go.
Well, you have to imagine a big stairway.
Okay.
And me. And I would just.
Oh my God. You're like an old stripper.
And it lasted for fucking ever.
Oh, the song would go and go and go, and I think the band didn't want to cut you off, so they'd keep it going. Your resting heart rate when you were done was something like 265, and then
It would be
the
cut.
show would end with me saying, "All right, tomorrow Lenny Kravitz," and then bang, out, completely out, and there was all this wasted energy. It was not seen by the American public.
It was still worth it to
I think it
entertain
was.
you.
It entertained me, and it entertained the 185 people that were in that room.
That's right. That's right. And that's all
That
all you
seats
care about.
3,000.
If I can make just
We never could fill those back aisles.
as Pat Proft, I don't know if you know, he's a comedian from Minnesota who's a great writer. He said, if I can make just one person laugh, then I know it's a Tuesday night at the Comedy Store.
very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Because
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm a massive fan of your work, but also you as a person. And we've had the joy of hanging out a little bit. And I could not be happier for you.
Oh, thanks.
That you are right now at the center of the coolest show on television by pretty much universal acclaim. Everyone's been waiting on the second season. It shows up. It was appointment television for my son, my wife, and I. We sat down, loving it. We debate it. It is beautifully made. You're killing it, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Conan.
I wish it were me? Yes, I do.
Sure. Sure, I understand.
Do I feel that maybe there was a chance that I'd get that part?
Or it was a mix-up of some sort?
Yeah. I know Stiller called me at one point, and I didn't get the call. I couldn't quite pick it up. But no, I'm
That's show business.
Yeah. And then he had to go with his second choice.
That's right.
Adam Scott.
That's right.
What the fuck? Well, whatever. You know what? It ended up working out. It is just so artfully done, so beautifully done. So much thought has gone into this. And I watched the opening shot of the second season several times.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not giving anything away, but the opening shot of the second season, you are running down this hallway that just doesn't end.
Yeah.
And there's something about the way it's shot. I don't know what it is. I've watched a lot of film. I've watched a lot of television. And I have never seen anything quite like it. And I can't put my finger on what's happening there.
Yeah.
But it is an absolutely incrable piece of filmmaking that's the start of a television show.
Yeah, that's all Ben. And he really, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I listen to the show all the time.
Oh.
And thanks for saying, Conan, you are one of those people who, as you move through show business, you get to know people that their work, and I'm a fan. You are a fan before you get to know them. You are definitely one of those people. I still can't believe that I actually know you. And I know there are a lot of us who feel that way.
Oh, that's...
so thank you, and thanks for having me.
It may not last.
No. I can already tell it's fading.
Yeah. I'm starting to forget your name now.
That's right. Which I totally expect based on previous experience.
Every time I've seen you out on the street, I usually ask you, "Oh, waiter."
Yes. Can I get some more ice water?
It's a party down confusion.
That's right.
Yeah. I know that Ben takes this really seriously, and it's not just making a TV show. This is a whole other thing.
Yeah, and that's part of what I love about it, is that he's someone who, him, he's thinking about all of it. He's thinking about the whole grid at all times. And for me, that lets me relax, and the rest of the cast as well. And we can just focus on, because if you're worried about but if you're asking me to do this, but is it going to feel ridiculous because that thing's happening and we're going 40 miles an hour? If that guy's right here and I'm reacting this way, and sometimes you say that and the director looks at you and it's clear that they haven't thought about any of this, which is fine too. It's a matter of experience or how different people make different things. But with Ben, he's thinking about the entire thing. He's considered every detail. So we can all just focus on the task at hand.
The sense I get is that Ben is playing three-dimensional chess.
Yes.
And, and
we're playing Connect 4.
Exactly. And you'll ask him a question, you'll be like, do not worry. He's seeing his nine-dimensional chessboard. But it's interesting to me that looking at the whole span of your career, this is quite a different gig.
Yeah.
First of all, I know it took you a while. Talk about paying your dues. You paid your dues for a long time. It took you a long time to find your footing, catch your break. And then it was really in, starting out in like background work. Weren't you doing background work?
Yeah, for a Tia Carrere music video. That was one of my many background
That was
gigs.
you?
Yeah. I know.
You were the best
I know.
part.
You guys probably all recognized me when I walked in.
Yeah.
Guy with beret, I believe is how they referred to me.
For real?
You were wearing a beret for real?
My own. I can't find it anywhere. I really have looked. It was fall of '93, and I had a beret, and I thought it was great, and I wore it all the time, and I definitely wore it to the filming of the Tia Carrere video. So I would love to try and find it. I don't even know if I appear.
I have
never
to say,
saw it.
I don't know if you guys do this. And you might do it because this used to be your profession. I look at background people sometimes in scenes. And if I don't find the scene particularly riveting, I really do look at the background people.
100%.
And I'm usually impressed.
Yeah.
Like they're in it.
Yeah.
They're both not talking at the same time, even though.
Right.
And then every now and then there's someone who's just too happy about having a cup of coffee.
Yes. Or having a conversation where they're like,
Yes.
just
Take it down a notch.
Yes.
Yeah. Or wearing a beret.
You're wearing a beret.
Anything to get noticed.
Oh, boy.
But, then when your breaks start to come, it's very much ensemble work.
Yeah.
And you are in an ensemble now, but you are the face of the show.
Yeah.
So this is, there must be something kind of comforting about ensemble work.
Yeah.
Clearly, working on something like Party Down, you're just working with these wonderful improvised. What a cast.
It's incredible. Yeah. I'm feeling like you're just ensconced in this and Parks and Rec too, just being part of this crew. That Amy was really leading, but comforting is a perfect word for it. And it's part of why I was so freaked out when Severance first came out a few years ago. It's like suddenly the billboards went up and it was my face around town. And it should have been like this big, happy, monumental moment that I've been waiting for 30 years. But it just freaked me out. And Ben sort of talked me down because he's certainly been through it. Just because at that point, we made the show in a bubble and no one had seen it and we loved it, but had no clue if anyone would like it or if people would just make fun of us. Like, you just don't know at all other than your own barometer. And we thought it was cool, but man, you have zero sense of how it's going to be received. So it could have been this big embarrassing thing. Anyway, when you're kind of out front, it's frightening and then also rewarding when you're doing something that you feel good about.
Yes. I've said this for many years, and I don't think most people would understand it. I think the assumption is if you're working on something cool that's going to be iconic, everyone knows it as they're working on it. And that is not the case.
No.
And I've always said it takes a lot of very talented people working very hard to make something terrible.
Yeah.
It's why I get very impatient around Oscar season. There are all these reviews of movies, and a lot of them are really brilliant movies. And they'll say, but then they really blew it in that one part.
Right.
And I'll be thinking, do you know how hard it is just to make a movie, let alone a great movie?
Yeah.
But there's that one part in The Brutalist where they kind of miss the mark a little bit.
People become just film historians when Oscar season comes around. They get very, very persnickety. And also all the time it takes. I think that was part of why we were also afraid of it landing with a thud, is that it was so hard to make and took so long that it would have been a bummer. But anything that comes out and doesn't quite work, people were working on it for a few years. It's always
one thing geeking out about Severance, the visuals, the way it's shot, the colors. There's all this thought going into stuff. The machines they use are oddly out of time. They're
the cars.
The cars are out of time, which leads to all different kinds of theories. But the choices, directing and creating a lot of the time is about choices, and just everything is just a little off in this weird way that I can't quite put my finger on. And I enjoy that. I find I could watch it, watch it with the sound on, and then you could watch it again with the sound off and just look at the colors and what people are wearing and how things are framed in the shots.
And I think how Ben and Jessica Lee Gagne, the director of photography, and Jeremy, our production designer, and Kat, our props master, I think the way they visually tell the story too, you could watch it with the sound off and get the story too emotionally, and maybe some of the more kind of mind twisty details wouldn't be there, but you would emotionally get the story. And I think that's really important too, when you can make something where you can turn the sound off. It's like if you listen to your podcast with the sound off, you get you get it.
I'm going to tell you something.
You get a little bit more than if you do listen to it with the sound, right?
We recommend that people, when they're driving, turn the sound off.
Yeah.
And you'll have a completely superior experience.
I recommend you put on a different podcast.
Yeah.
But keep the sound off on this one. Concurrently play another one. That's the experience.
What are you watching when you're a kid? What are the shows that mean something to you on TV?
Letterman was a huge one.
Yep.
We didn't have, I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, which is this little kind of hippie beach town. And so we didn't have a TV in our house. I lived with my mom for a majority of the time, and then went back and forth. But while I was living there, my dad got me this little 5-inch black and white TV that I just kept in my room, and I was just glued to it. Without cable television, you have 3 stations. So I would just watch whatever was on from 7 p.m. or whenever till they went off the air at, what was it, 1:30 or 2 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Letterman, and Different Strokes and whatever network comedies were on. Yeah. Hour-long dramas always felt like too grown up and boring until I got older. And now you go back and look at hour-long dramas when, we were coming of age, and they're just like pornography bad, Yeah. Like, not only are they just weirdly bad, but they show there's so much shoe leather just because they're trying to fill up the 42 minutes.
Oh, I'm obsessed with, I've had huge fights. I had a huge fight with Bill Burr, who loves Chips. And I went after Bill and said, Chips is a piece of shit. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's getting crazy on me about how much he loves Chips and how much it meant to him. But if you watch those shows now, the editing, I don't know if everyone's on coke that's making them.
Right.
But the shots are lazy. The whole point of the show is there's going to be this big meeting.
Right.
And so a guy's going to pull up in his car and go talk to someone who's in another car. Yeah. The car will pull up in some big parking lot. 30 feet away, the guy will get out and shut the door and walk 30 feet to the other guy.
Totally.
No cutting.
No
editing, because they're like, we can kill some time walking from that giant, bad, late 70s American car to this one.
That's right. That's right. Like, people have no idea how lucky they are with Breaking Bad and the surprise, whatever, modern television.
Right.
We did those credit sequence things, the greatest event. So we had to go and watch like Simon and Simon episodes to find these certain scenes to get context on some of them. And like Bill Burr, like, my memories of Simon and Simon are one thing. Like, it meant so much to me as a kid. But then kind of diving in and really watching, it's just a whole different... Like, I would challenge Bill Burr to binge Chips right now. Like, really see if he can hang in there.
Well, I'm sure I'll be getting a call from him very soon. I just saw him the other day. We had a lovely meal, and now he's going to feel like I betrayed him. I think we are in TV's golden age. I keep saying that it's just because clearly the whole business changed, but what you're describing, and now we sound like the 2 old men on the Muppet Show in the balcony. But you watched what was on,
right?
And you had an awareness sometimes, this doesn't seem that good,
right?
But it was all there was.
Yeah,
there's 3 networks, and also there's what comes in, meaning what will my reception capture?
Yes.
because sometimes there's a good show and you'd go to turn it on and there was the antenna. I keep moving the antenna around.
Yeah, that's right.
And so just this, I don't know.
And it was inconsistent. Some nights CBS would come in great and some nights it was just garbage.
Right. And so now there's the other problem of I have 7,000 options.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some very obvious choices I can make.
Yeah.
When I know there's a really good documentary out, or hey, Severance is back. I know what I'm doing. It's appointment television.
Yeah.
But then there's so much where people have told me, you've got to watch Gub Gub Nation. And I'm like, what is it?
So
I
good.
love Gub
I
Gub.
do too. You're surrounded by people that love Gub Gub Nation.
And I'll be like, what's Gub Gub Nation?
We're Gub Gubbers.
We're just from way back.
Gubheads, what's up, everybody?
Season 1 Gubheads.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
And I'll say, what is it? And they'll be like, oh, it takes place in an advertising agency. It's British, but you're going to really... And then I'll watch like 2 episodes. And I'm
Oh, you
like,
got to hang in for 7.
do.
bro.
7. Get to 7.
No, you have to.
Get to 7, because that's when the Gub Gubbers show up.
And those Gub Gubbers walk in. Lights out.
The episode with the landslide.
Oh, boo.
It's divisive, but it's amazing.
Yeah, and we could because now kids can, it's all dependent on, they can watch whatever they want. So it just depends on their taste,
Yes.
what they're going to watch. Back then, like you said, we just watched whatever was on. And that's how we came up with our taste, was by watching everything.
Yeah.
So it's just a completely, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Never mind.
I remember my writing partner, when I came out to LA for the first time, Greg Daniels, of course, the great Greg Daniels, he and I came out here and we're both 22 years old. There wasn't that much television. There was just, as I said, a couple of networks and a couple of big sitcoms and some dramas. And so you'd seen everything. There was no such thing as a show that you had never heard of, because there aren't that many shows.
Yeah.
So I remember once Greg and I are working late, and I think we were over at Sunset Gower Studios, which isn't too far from where we are now. And we're these like wide-eyed 22-year-old guys right out of college, and we're working on this show called Not Necessarily the News. But then we're also wandering around because we're like, wow, this is where they make television. Yeah. And we wandered onto, oh my God, this is the set where they make Benson.
Whoa.
And Benson with Robert Guillaume.
They were still making it?
I think they were still making it. And this would be 1985.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing an actual, this is the governor's mansion where Benson lives. And this is it. And it's, all the lights are kind of down. There's a couple of lights on, but there's like cloth over things.
They put the things, the sheets over the furniture.
And we're wandering in, and Greg and I mean, it's so funny now. Greg has made so much iconic TV, but I remembered very clearly him being like, wow. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And then we walk in and we get up close and we look. And we're looking at the actual like vase and table. Yeah. And it's supposed to be a rich like governor's mansion. Yeah. And it looks like shit. Yeah. It's like, because
fake.
It's all fake, and it's all slapped on kind of fake gold paint. And that's the vase looks like it cost $2. And I remember having this revelation of, it's all a lie, man. Yeah.
Totally.
Benson's mansion sucks. Yeah. What is this? And then having that realization over and over and over again whenever I was on a set and sitting down and like, this is the chair where the girls on Facts of Life sit?
Wow. How much time did you get to spend on the Facts of Life set?
I know.
I used to go over there a lot. Hang out in the chair. That sounds so creepy.
The chair.
Did you know where the chair is from Facts of Life? Where the ladies sit?
All of them at the same time?
There's that one scene. No, I don't.
Which one does Mrs. Garrett sit in? Point me in the general direction.
Yeah. I was there, part of a group of people honoring you, and watched you when you got the Mark Twain Prize. And it was just funny to see how many people came out and how you're that guy to them, if you're, you know what I mean? Like they're like a Pete Davidson is telling stories about, oh shit, there's Adam Sandler.
That's funny. Yeah, so we're those guys now that to the young guys. Yeah. He's a funny bastard, that kid. He's always texting. He's just, he's enjoying his life, and then also
He certainly
nervous.
seems to be.
He
Yeah.
enjoys it, but he's nervous about it, and he's a very nice kid. And yeah, I don't know. That was quite a weekend, man. You were such a great man to me because I was so not enjoying it the first
Why
day.
weren't you enjoying it? So you get this big honor, the Mark Twain
tense.
Prize, and everyone turns out, and it's going to be at Kennedy Center. And when I ran into you, I checked in at the hotel in Georgetown in the lobby, and I walked through, and I'm thinking, well, I guess I'll see Adam at some point, maybe when I go up on stage to give my speech.
Yeah.
And I see you standing, as you always are, in basketball shorts and in the lobby alone. And I go up and I go, Dad, what's going on? You're like, I don't know, Coney. And you were in a bit of a well. Like
I
you were
just get nuts when I have all my family, all friends, and then the thing was bugging me the most was I knew everybody came because they would I felt like everyone was doing me a favor. So I was like, God damn, this is a weekend. Everybody would probably like to have their own weekend.
I really wanted my own weekend.
you made it. You said we all want to be here. It's good. Let's just enjoy it. I swear to God, it was like 5:00 at night on the Friday, and I went, yeah. Okay, let me just. This is a once in a lifetime
Well,
thing.
also, it's take a second. You're such a workaholic.
Yes.
You're working all the time.
You are too.
Yeah, but it's good to take a moment every now and then and say, okay,
Yeah.
this is nice. All your friends turned out.
Yeah.
And it was really...
It was a great time.
It was a really good time.
We all hung.
But I don't know if you're this way. I would always hate it if I knew family was in the audience.
Yeah.
They would always say, yeah, we're coming. We're going to be in the late night audience. And I'd say, well, why don't you I'd say this to my brother, Neil. I'd say, just hang out in the dressing room and you can watch it. No, I want to be in the crowd where everyone else is. And I'd say I'd kind of prefer it if you were, because I can see everybody. And if I can see you in the crowd, it's weird that my brother's there and I'm trying to be a talk show host. And you're the guy who beat the shit out of me when I was 5. And took more than your share of the sugar cereal. So I don't, there's 6 Pop-Tarts and there's 6 kids. And so you come down, there's only 3 Pop-Tarts and no one's had any. And Neil's got crumbs on his belly and he's laughing at all of us. But I would say to him, like, I would really prefer, and he would look at me and go like, nah, this is what I like.
They changed my vibe too. My dad told my mom, my dad came to see me in Boston one night when I was doing stand-up and I just was getting going and I was cursing a lot. And my father, no matter what, even when I did bad, he'd be like, oh, that was terrific. You were great. Terrific. And I said, that thing I said, blah, 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 didn't do well, huh? He'd be like, it was terrific. You'll figure it out. But he would say, don't have mom come see you. and so my mother, every time I had a show, my mom would go, your father says I shouldn't come. Do you want me to come? I'd be like, well, dad said not to do. Maybe it's better. And then I did my album and it was filthy. And my father played my mother the record. He listened to it first, and then my mother would tell me, I listened to track 1, 5, and 11. Those were the ones that Daddy said I can listen to. But I did change my vibe. Whenever my parents or my family, there's something about my act as a stand-up, I don't really tell the truth ever.
Yeah.
I have the start of the truth and do some goofy joke. And anytime I've looked out at a family member and I start my joke, they have a look of like, this isn't true.
Yeah.
And so it throws my head off. I'm like, oh, God damn it. My mother never came to see me do stand-up because that was the instructions. But I opened for Seinfeld. Seinfeld was cool. He liked me, let me open for him in Boston one night, and my parents are in New Hampshire. And then to open for Seinfeld, I don't think he told me to, but I said, well, he doesn't curse, so I can't curse. And I told my dad and mom, hey, I'm doing Seinfeld. Whoa, that's a big deal. And they were so excited. I said, I'm doing 15 minutes before he goes on, if you guys want to come. And because I'm not allowed to curse. And so my father's like, Judy, we'll go. And they both came. And because it was a clean set, I wasn't used to it. And I fucking ate it for 15 minutes, and my poor parents were watching me just fail miserably. And then Seinfeld went on, and it was fucking 2 hours of destruction.
Yeah.
And just the whole car ride home is like, and how about when he said? And I was like, yes, that was very good. And my mother's like, you'll get there. You'll get there.
That's nice. I love that your dad is, the production company logo that always comes up is the golf ball.
Terrific.
And then terrific.
Exactly.
And I guess that was your dad's, everything was terrific.
Everything was terrific. Always about your golf swing, about everything. School, you'd come home with a report card. All right, terrific. You're doing okay. And he had a great attitude. But my dad passed away, and that terrific is actually me. I did it in a microphone, and they lowered it and put it in the thing. And my mother, for a long time, thought it was my dad. And happened when Daddy said, and then I think I broke it to her recently. I said, that's me. Oh. You destroyed it all.
I don't know. I liked hanging out with your mom and your sister, and it was just
my two sisters.
Your two sisters. That's right.
Yeah. How about when my sister took over the speech the first night?
There's a night before at the when you get the Twain Award. There's a night before. They have another night, and your sister came out and did a set.
She did a 20-minute hit.
Yeah, and
she took over. She made me sit down on stage.
Yeah, she said, "Get up here," and made you sit, and there was nothing you could do. Your sister was in. This was. She said, "This is my moment."
Yes,
and I'm taking it.
She didn't try to be funny, or was funny, and also just nice and real. Didn't have the thing that we have of I gotta kill. And she was just taking her time and telling stories about me, but had me locked in there pretty good. But it was sweet. Everybody was nice.
I love it when Spade's mom has been around.
Yeah,
I love it when these people that I came along with, when their parents are around. I love it, like I said, when your mom's around. And I went to an event. And it was an event that you were throwing for, I think it was one of your daughter's bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah, the bar mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at a table with David Spade's on one side. His mom's on the other side. And sitting across the table from us is Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, that's right.
And she leans over to me and she says, Conan, that's Dustin Hoffman. And I want to go say hi to him. I love Dustin Hoffman. He's in my second favorite movie of all time.
Right, yeah.
And I said, you should say hi to him. She says, yeah, I'm going to go tell him he's in my second favorite movie of all time. And I said, well, you know what you should do, Mrs. Spade, is just say, you're in my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I said, what was it? And he said, I was like, Tootsie is my second favorite movie of all time. And I'm trying to remember. I said, well, what's your, and she said, I just said, just say it's your favorite. And she said, it's not my favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time is, whatever. I got to think of something now. My favorite movie of all time is 9 to 5. My second favorite movie of all time is Tootsie. And my third favorite movie, of all time. And then she had a third favorite. And I said, just you don't have to say all that.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
You don't have to do it. Just go up to Dustin Hoffman and just say, you're my favorite movie of all time, Tootsie, that's all. And she looked at me and she said, but it's not my favorite movie of all time. And so I said, David, help me here. And David was like, Ma, just say you literally love Tootsie. That's all you have to do. And she was like, all right. So she goes around and there's all this music playing because it's a bat mitzvah. And I see her walk around and she goes up to Dustin Hoffman and she starts talking. And then she holds up 3 fingers. And then she does one, and I see her mouthing it, and it's not Tootsie. And I see Dustin Hoffman listening, and he doesn't even know it's David Spade's mom. He just knows it's this older woman. Yeah. Now, in my favorite movie, you're not in it. So hold on. You're in the list, but not at number 1. And I was just dying.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, my mother does the, if someone famous is in the room, my mother I'll introduce my mother. Go, you're wonderful. You're wonderful. Congratulations, and thank you so much. You are wonderful. We love you so much. And then they walk away, and then like, who is that?
It's amazing the vantage point I've had, meeting you that first day you showed up at SNL, and then just seeing this body of work that you've made, which is so varied that when people come up to you and they're touched by something you did or they love something you did, there's a lot of people who they know what's coming. Yeah, you like that one movie. But for you, you never know what it's going to be because you've done so much. You've done so much stuff that's affected people in different ways.
Yeah. I mean, shit, the latest that Leo movie.
Leo is,
Smigel.
yeah.
My daughter's obsessed.
Oh, yeah?
She loves that. And it's such a good movie because I've watched it with her 3 times now.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's like a joke bag. Feels great. Bill Burr, Smigel crushed it.
But also,
I'm so happy. That,
I also love, too, that the voice you did in Leo.
Bernie.
We all know it's... my former representation, your former Bernie Brillstein, had this just unbelievable voice. I mean, first of all, he looked.
You used to do him. You and Smiley used to do him talking about your Adam West. Pilot.
Yeah. He was, but
and you do Sandy better than everybody.
But this was this great. I mean, Bernie Brillstein was this iconic figure, and they don't make him like that anymore.
Right.
And he wore all black. He was very heavy guy with a big white beard, and he looked like a Jewish Santa Claus with a wearing, and he'd wear dark, and he'd say it's slimming. Well, apparently it's not. But he was a real character, and then everyone did a Bernie Brillstein impression, and but you took that voice and then changed it.
Yeah.
And if you had told me this massive hit movie, Leo, is coming out, and kids are going to love it, and it's going to be an instant classic, and the main character is the voice of Bernie Brillstein.
That was...
I'd have said...
Do you remember that you guys, I think Smigel used to do Bernie if he was a cannibal?
No.
He used to go, he'd be giving advice and be like, you have to tell Paramount Fictions. Yeah, whatever he'd be saying. They'd be like, you have a wonderful hand. Let me feel that hand for a second.
It's such a specific... I love a really specific impression.
Yeah, that was good. That the kids coming up talking about that, fantastic feeling.
And then you have this, I just watched it last night.
You got the Spaceman,
which is, I really loved it, and it's quite different from other work that you've done, and it's got a great premise. I don't know how much I want to say to give anything away, but it's someone who's about as far away from Earth as you can get,
right? Who
gets some upsetting news and feels like something in his relationship with his wife has gone wrong, and you're literally on the other side of Jupiter.
Yes.
And then there's this element that comes into the movie that is really fantastic, and you don't expect it. And I thought it was a beautiful movie.
That's cool.
It really did.
Great. Yes. It's this director, great guy, Johan Renck, just a great person. You would love him. From Sweden. He directed Bowie's last video. He's like really cool bass.
I love that video, by the way. I've seen that. I love that video.
That's cool. It looks cool as it. Bowie, he has great stories about Bowie, and he did Madonna and just cool stuff. And he was a singer himself, and he gave me the script and said, and it was very different, and this guy's visually makes cool shit and let me be in it, and I love it. I like it.
You're in this enviable position where you can do whatever you want. You can decide, I'm going to do an Uncut Gems and work with the Safdies before that was even a thing, and I think you can you can make a Leo, then you can come out with Spaceman, which is very much got like a 2001 vibe and has a lot of different darker textures in it. And I think, okay, this is this amazing place to be in right now.
Yes.
Where you can be as goofy as you want.
Yeah.
And then
I did get lucky there. I don't know I don't know what I'm supposed to do half the time. I'm like, shit, I got to make a movie. I want to make a movie. I love making them. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I I like doing comedies. I like when there's an idea that we're freaking out over and we can't wait to get it going and try to write it and all that shit. But it's a weird age, right? Now it's a new age. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to really talk about, what I'm supposed to be, what kind of movie I'm supposed to make right now. But it all eventually gets there.
Well, I think my take on you is I think your secret weapon, and I like to think I've been this way too, but you've mostly been interested in pleasing yourself. Mm-hmm. And you decided a long time ago, I'm not going to read anything about me, and I'm not going to try and make certain people happy. Yeah. I'm just going to do what I think is right and what I want to do. And it's kind of a masterclass in what more people should do. Yeah, because I think it has. I think that's a great way to go through, especially a comedy career. But just make yourself happy. Yeah, and if you stick to that. Chances are the worst thing that happens is you've made yourself happy, and in your case, you've made everybody else happy too. So
Thank you, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
It does feel. Yes, there are times in your career you go, I guess you do something that you weren't 100% sure of, mm-hmm. and then you just go, I can't ever fucking do that again. That didn't feel good. Like doing whatever makes me feel like at least I like it, like you were saying, and. It's just lucky. Me and you are very lucky. How about how long you've been getting to do this and kill. And this new building you got's the greatest, man.
I love it. Yeah, I always wanted a little tree house. That's what this feels like. Is like a very nice tree house.
Yes,
and
it's packed with people who look happy as hell.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
That's all right.
Super happy. The checks keep coming. And every picture on the wall is of me.
Yeah.
That feels good. Keep that.
I don't want to keep you any longer, but I'm just honored to be your friend. And,
me too, man. I love you always.
So happy for you. And
I'm doing a stand-up special, and I drop your name in it in a good way.
Oh, in a good way.
You have nothing to fear. I hate when somebody says that I heard your name at a comedy club. I'm like, oh, geez, that could go the other way.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good way.
Friend of Epstein. Oh, no. Well, listen, I love you, and I'm so happy for you, and proud of you for you. Just, I don't know. You're following your own North Star, and whatever you're doing is perfection. So,
thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
I love you, Conan.
I love
Absolutely.
you too. Just and I love you too, Gourley.
What? Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, different Gourley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That feels better.
I didn't have my glasses on.
Okay.
My mother sat next to Dice Clay on a flight out. And she was just telling me, this nice boy, very nice. We talked the whole flight, and he's very sweet, and you should get to know him. His name is Dice, and he's just very nice, and he's from Brooklyn. And I said, you were with Dice Clay, Ma. He's a giant star.
Yeah.
He's he's handsome, and he's
got a nice head of hair.
Nice head of hair, yeah.
He told me the loveliest little nursery rhyme. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the cock.
He was always nice. Every time I'd see Dice after, they'd be like, say hi to your mother.
Oh, yeah.
He was the shit. And then what about fucking Dennis when he would go, what the fuck with Dennis? Crack, what is it? Jimmy crack corn, and I don't fucking care. And the whole place would go nuts, something like that.
Yeah. Did you get along with Dennis back on the show?
He got me on the show.
Oh, he was the one that got you on the show.
He called Lauren about me. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
I was scared of Dennis. He was the only one I was scared of.
Yes, intimidating.
Because he was very intimidating. He didn't go out of his way to say, hey, it's going to be okay. I think he just didn't know me. Brilliant. And I remembered once him misinterpreting, I think I was at the craft services table, and I said something, I just made some remark that was an innocent remark, but the way Dennis heard it, it sounded like I had said something kind of snotty about him or something, which I hadn't, but I just said something, and he was like, so Conesy took a shot at Den Den.
Oh, wow.
Like it's on. Conesy took on Den Den, and now Den Den is coming after. And I was like, fuck.
Oh, no, you're
I don't want this.
He was great to me, and he used to take us out before SNL. We were just goofy comedians, Schneider and Spade. He used to take us out golfing all the time at Woodsett, in the Valley, and we'd play with him and got to know him, and then he watched our acts and told us, what was good and bad and that kind of shit. And then he's like, Sandman. He used to call me Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
He used to I think he was like the first guy, my friends when I was a kid used to call me Sandman, and then nobody did that. And I think he used to go, Sandman. And he's like, yeah, you'd be good on the show, Sandman. And then I'd be on the show. And I remember I wasn't doing great in the beginning. No, it's a hard place to get it going. But I was definitely Schneider hit big, and some of the youth was starting to get there, and I was not getting there. And then I remember in the hallway, he goes, "I thought this would have caught on by now." He did that to me. I go, "Oh no, not yet.
It'll get there."
Yeah.
But you were always pretty confident that you'd get there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yes, I kept going. But yeah, he was great to me. He was great. But I know what you mean. He did scare the shit out of you. You didn't exactly, almost like the McCartney thing. Like you just you get a little fucking out of your head and nervous, and you're going to say the wrong thing to Dennis and guys who were just better than us back in the day. Who else had that? Phil was warm. Phil was warm. He used to
Phil
make you
was
feel
warm.
calm.
Phil Hartman, but you always thought you didn't know the real Phil.
That's right.
Phil would walk in and see us and go, "Keep them flying, boys. Keep them flying." And then you'd go in and you'd to tell him about a sketch and go, and he'd say, "What's up, fellas? All right, let's take a look. Got it." And he was a machine. He could do it, but it's not like I ever had a heart to heart with
No,
Phil,
I never shot the shit for real, but he was sweet. He was sweet. Lovitz was pretty goddamn nice to us back in the day.
He was funny because John Lovitz just wore his heart on his sleeve. He was who he was, and he was kind of very. It was all there. Like he had no armor.
Right.
So many comedians have armor, and John Lovitz.
That's true.
Would say, "Hey, I've got an idea." He always would pitch you these ideas because he always looking for a new catchphrase after the liar. Right. He was always wanting a new catchphrase, and he'd be like, I got an idea for a character. He says, "Get to know me."
Yeah,
and you'd go, "Yeah, I don't really know." And he'd be like, "Oh, I think it'd be really good. Come on." He'd get sort of like a kid, and I thought, but he was very sweet, really nice guy, very sweet guy,
absolutely,
but just felt like. Kind of like his inner child was exposed.
But those guys were bigger than because we were younger than them. That we always were a little nervous around.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
That's just how it works. Whoever
Dana,
I'm in awe of people. And I've heard someone else say this is true, but people that were on TV when I was a kid are just always. I mean, they're all dying now, but if they were on television or in the movies when I was a kid, I'm in complete awe of them.
Oh, yeah.
And
we owe something to them.
Yeah. And also we saw them when we were, you in New Hampshire, me in Massachusetts, watching a black and white TV that doesn't work great. And I'm sitting on the floor and I'm with all my family and they were on top of the mountain and you just felt like, well, what am I? I'm nothing. Sure. And so what I've found is that people can be absolute icons, make the biggest stars in the world, but if they came along 5 years ago, I'm very happy to meet them, but they don't have that effect on me.
Sure, yes.
I'm not like, oh my God, but the way I would be from anybody
I
that I saw.
You know what, Taylor Swift, because what she means to my
your kids, yeah.
I get a little fucking jumpy, or like I'm this guy because I don't want to blow it for my kids, so I'm a little like Taylor, like I talk a little too loud or something. I don't act as cool as I can.
You yell her name outside her house, Taylor, talk to me, speak to me. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, she's. I mean, she's this whole other level now.
That is, people talk about the Beatles of it all, and her just man. I mean, fuck, so many smash hits. There's not a word my kids don't know.
My daughter. It means so much.
I know them too, by the way, but they know them inside and out. But it's just remember the Beatles. Every fucking song on the record you knew, that's Taylor Swift too. You just there's not a song you skip. You go, oh, that one's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Very few people have hit that level of fame.
For that long.
It's me.
Oh boy,
Taylor. Hold on. You've been outside with me, and people just lose. They're like shouting out different sketches and bits.
No, they're just like, do I know you from something? How do I know you?
Big man, what's up, big man?
Taylor has called me and said, like, how long will this go on? How do I handle it? And I go, look, you just got to be chill. You got to breathe into it. That's what I always say. It was funny because I had met you there, then I go work on The Simpsons, then I come back and I'm doing late night, and you would come by and do such funny things for me, which helped me out a lot and meant a lot to me. The crowd would go crazy. You would do...
Oh, when I would come on your show?
Yeah.
That was the highlight.
When you would come on my show, one of the first things you did, you weren't even a guest.
Yeah.
Is I'd be at my talk show desk, and then the phone would ring.
Yeah, man.
And you just heard this voice, and the audience didn't know who it was.
Right.
It's someone fucking with me, and no one could know what it was.
Right.
And then I start to figure out who it is, and the camera would go up the stairs and around the corner, and you'd be on a payphone.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd see the camera and do your Sandler, what do you call it?
A dibbity-hoo.
A dibbity-hoo. I love that you have this
the old
term for it. The old dibbity-doo. You go like, dibbity-doo. And then you'd take off and run through the audience, and they would...
That was the best.
What I loved about moments like that is that it's just pure liquid joy. No one expected to see you. You're not there for any reason.
So it kind of got me that like... I mean, Saturday Night Live, I didn't get on all the time. I would have little hit and run things, but you would put me on enough where it would become a thing. Your crowd was kind of the youth. Mm-hmm. They were the younger crowd. Because SNL, I remember some older people, when they would see me in the beginning, would be like, who's this young idiot? Why am I watching him? But on your show, that was like perfect for me, for you, for all the young people. And I remember that and my albums back then were kind of the things
you
when
put
I would
me
do,
on. You asked me, and you were just getting started. You did your first album, and you asked me to play.
Yeah, the principal,
the dean.
The dean, and the valedictorian.
Yeah, it was like okay, and you explained what the joke was. I'm like, all right, and we did it in like one take. It was just so, and then I didn't think anything about it, and then kids were yelling at me whenever I went.
Yeah.
The buffoon. Thing quoting and I was like, wait, what? Because it took me about a second to tape, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And
you were nice to do it because you just got the show.
Yeah, and well, I mean, no, I was happy to do it, but it's just funny to go back and look how everything. Because I remembered when you did your first film, and you were nervous. I remembered you were.
Like Billy Madison?
Yeah, it was Billy Madison, I think.
Yeah, sure.
You were nervous. And that's so... I bring these things up because I like people to know that even Adam Sandler was there. Yeah. Like, everybody was there. Everybody has those moments. And it's when I bring up Chris, who I think is a genius and I love him.
Yeah.
When I say it was when he first showed up and I first met him, he wasn't fully formed yet because we're all... Jesus, I was not fully formed for a long time. It takes a while, and it's amazing to see it. But I remember you were nervous about it.
Terrified.
Yeah.
But you, I had probably told you this before, but when you got the show, when we found out you were hosting the show and taking, over for Letterman, right? Is that what it was? For Letterman?
Yeah.
It was unanimous with our reaction. Everyone was like, oh, wow, yeah, that's great. There was nobody going, oh, shit, why come I didn't get that? About everybody who it was Conan's name, everybody just went, yeah, wow, that's perfect. What a great idea. But you never came across nervous. Like, I remember watching your first night. Who was the guest? It was Goodman?
It was Goodman was the first guest, and then Drew Barrymore.
Wow.
And then Tony Randall.
Right.
Came out like wearing like a tuxedo. And then he and I sang Edelweiss.
Oh, wow.
We wanted to, on the first show, tell everybody this is the kind of show it's going to be.
Right.
So he and I sang Edelweiss, and they cut to the crowd, and there was a weeping Nazi. And we just wanted to tell everybody, like, this is what this show is going to be.
You were cool. I think we were all at Mohonk. What
you guys were at Mohonk. There was a retreat. Yeah. And you told me that you were watching with Farley.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, and which made me very happy because I thought, well, he's there watching.
Oh, man. We were all pulling for you. All knew you were the best. And like, we were like, wow, it's official. You're that guy now.
It's so funny. It doesn't feel that way for the longest time.
You still feel like you're auditioning every night in the beginning.
Yeah, for a long time. But I remembered you had there were certain people, Robert Smigel, like we all knew you were really funny, but Robert Smigel immediately knew that you were fantastic. And the other person, this is really interesting, is Jim Downey is such a giant brain. And what's interesting is, remember Jim Downey sort of looking at you and saying, it's funny because you're doing like your take on a Jerry Lewis sometimes,
right.
But don't be fooled. I think he's smarter than any of us. Like that was his analysis, which I thought was very fascinating because people that took some of the buffoonery at face value didn't understand.
Yeah, sure.
That you're a really smart motherfucker. and
in my own way.
I mean, but you are. You've always been, and that was always the plan. Was always that, okay, this is what I'm doing now, but then I'm going to start laying other stuff in. And actually, which I didn't even know at the time, but I would talk to you and you would talk about serious acting and you knew you could do it. You knew that was something you wanted to do.
Right.
And you knew that like there's a time when I'm going to unveil that.
Yeah.
But you had your own sense of how this thing is going to unwind. And
I think I did that when I did The Wedding Singer. I probably was like, let me try not to be too goofy in this movie, just to maybe slowly ease into doing other stuff one day, you know. But I mean, of course, PTA, he's the one who put me in like a
that's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Not the PTA committee.
Yeah.
Well, he's the guy who helped me get into doing just a straight up serious movie. But in my head, I knew I could eventually handle something like that, and I should do something like that. I always, my family, when I first went to NYU acting, my grandmother was always like, "You're the next James Caan. You're the next James Caan." She always used to say that to me. So part of that line made me go, oh, shit, I better do some real movies too one day so my grandmother can accept this life. James Caan. I probably told you this, but I met James Caan when I was young. I was on the Paramount lot. I'm walking. I had an audition, and James Caan is with his buddies throwing a football around, and he had a black eye. And I was like, oh shit, he get a famous James Caan kind of fight or something. But he was shooting Misery, and he had the makeup on.
He had the makeup, right.
And so I was like, oh fuck, I didn't realize it until like a year later. I said, oh shit, that's why I had to. But I walked by him and I said, I got to say something to James Caan, man. And so I did that douchebag kind of walk up to him, see everyone going, what the fuck? He's having fun. James Caan throwing a football. Why is this guy interrupting? And I said, hey, my grandmother said, I'm the next you. He goes, what? I said, my grandmother said, I'm the next you. And he goes, you don't want to be me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He was one of the, people talk about who are the coolest people ever in movies.
Was he on your show?
Oh, yeah. James Caan was on the show. And what I remember is you could, even when he was getting older, you could take a carpenter's level. Tell me if I'm right. You could take a carpenter's level and put it on his shoulder, and the bubble would go right to the middle. He had the craziest straight, and you can see it in The Godfather. Because there's a lot of scenes
suits,
where Sonny's wearing like what was known, or what is a wife beater T-shirt, but he's just got like the white strap on T-shirt, and look at his shoulders. His shoulders are just crazy.
He's got that ridge of fluff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the fluff. A little bit of fluff there. He would keep little treats in there for later. He's got a lot of little lifesavers and a Starburst. But no, I met him, and the times that I've met anyone, it's anyone from The Godfather, I lose my mind a little bit, and I can't believe it.
They all love him too.
They all love him.
All the Godfather guys would be, when you say his name, they go, oh, wow. He just had a coolness about him, and he would fight anybody. He did have that go time kind of, like, if somebody says the wrong thing.
Oh no, no, he was very much about. He looked like a guy who would drop his sandwich and punch you if that was called for.
I had to do that.
Yeah, just effortlessly cool guy. But I get that way. I mean, I don't know if you got that way around Pacino, because I know you were. And I think I may have mentioned this when I was in a restaurant and he saw me. I'm just going to quickly say it again. It's worth it. But he was pointing, and it looked like he was pointing at me, but I couldn't accept that Al Pacino was pointing at me.
Right.
So I was doing the looking behind me thing that people do in bits and cartoons, and he kept pointing, and then I came over, and he's like, "Oh, Conan O'Brien." And then I was so nervous, I just kept it real brief. And I said, well, anyway, you take care. And I dashed off. And then I saw the person he was with the next day, and the person he was with said, I was like, where'd he go? He fled. He fled. I'm like, because it's out, but I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
That's so funny, man.
I'm always that way. I don't want to bother these people. You said you were that way about McCartney.
I ran past
what happened?
McCartney was at a restaurant the other night, and it's actually my friend's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew he was coming. I was with my wife and her friends and my friends, and they were like, you've met McCartney, go say hello. I said, yeah, absolutely. And I got up, I saw a side shot of his head, he was eating. And I was like, hey, come on, man, just say hello. And then I saw Ringo was at the table too, and he looked up, and I went, I can't fucking handle it. And I just kept going. And I ran past him, and all my friends were like, what happened? And then my wife goes, go back, Ken. You're going to never forgive yourself. Go. And I said, yeah, you're right. Went back in. Saw the side shot. He was talking to his wife, I think. I just fucking kept walking. faked the hand wash in the bathroom. Then I was like, what are you doing, man? Go fucking do this. Just say hello.
This is amazing. I love it. You're Adam Sandler.
The Adam Sandler did. And you know what else didn't help? Other people were watching Adam Sandler be nervous.
Oh, no.
And they were just going, is he going to fucking talk to McCartney or not? And I just bolted out and got...
But you know, I get it, because someone like that, I think... He's been famous since about a year before I was born.
Right.
And when I say famous, like one of the foremost famous faces in the world. And then, so you just think,
lunchbox in the house.
Yeah, there are people that I have no problem walking up to.
Yeah.
And sometimes I really give them attitude. Like, look, you're a C-lister at best, so I'm going to say hi. I'm a real dick about it.
Obama.
Yeah. You were president. Now I'm president. Conan, that doesn't make sense. You've never been president? But anyway, I would not...
athletes do that to me, some superstar athletes, where everybody says, go over, say hello. Oh, the worst was KG. I went to a Clipper game with Kevin Garnett, and after the game it was ending, he was on the Clippers. He knows them all. He's like, let's go back, say hi. I said, no, man, you go. He goes, come on, man. I go, no, I don't want to go in the locker room, man. He goes, come on, man, and blah, blah, blah. I go in there, just feeling so goofy. They're all, the clothes are off. I'm in there just after a game, just there's no reason Adam Sandler's in the locker room. They're all hugging KG. I'm staring at him, giving some head nods, and then somehow it was me alone for a second. They spread out, and me and Kawhi was in there just kind of sitting there thinking about the game, and I'm just standing there, just me and Kawhi, and I'm just like, yeah, this is a bad moment for Kawhi. Didn't say nothing, just
froze.
I was remembering I was just thinking about this because I think he was on TV last night, but it was Joe Buck came up to me. I was at a bar with a friend, and Joe Buck walks up to me, and he's with John Elway.
Yeah, that's cool.
But John Elway doesn't say anything, and Joe Buck is just like, "Oh man, I always love coming on your show." And when we were chatting, and John Elway isn't saying anything, and isn't really making eye contact with me. And then Joe Buck says, "Well, anyway, I think our table's ready, but it's so great to see you." And I'm like, "Yeah, good to see you too." And he walks away, and John Elway is left standing, looking at me for 1 second, and he looks at me and he goes, "We're fans." And then walks away. And it was so clear to me he doesn't know who the fuck I am. And I respected him for it.